Carolina for the TranSouth Financial 400. 66 degrees here, a windy day, cloudy skies, a high humidity, and there is a chance of rain, and that's the reason why we are going with a rushed start. The cars will get the green in a lap and a half. On the grid, meanwhile, down on pit road remains the number 8 car driven by Jeff Burton. Let's go to John Kernan.
Bob, the engine will not fire. It will turn over, but it will not fire. They have changed spark plugs, but it still doesn't seem to have fixed the problem. Now they're going to have to push the car. They need to really get it off of pit road. We'll have to wait and see if they can remedy the situation.
Scheduled to go 22nd in today's race. Here's the lineup quickly. Bill Elliott is the pole sitter with a new track record, and Sterling Marlin starts alongside. Mark Martin and Chuck Bound will start in row number 2, and as you look at the rest of the starting lineup, we can tell you several things that might be a factor here today, including, of course, tire wear.
Tire wear is always a problem here at Darlington. Will be no different today.
It was a very, very fast qualifying round on Friday with 26 cars breaking the track record. Here's our other pit reporter for the day, Dr. Jerry Punch.
And guys, unbelievably, Bill Elliott, awesome Bill, just might be back after an incredible or very disappointing 1993. He is back on the pole for the first time since Phoenix a year ago. It's the same race car he ran at Phoenix. He has not led a lap thus far this year. That could change about a lap and a half from now.
It's our first NASCAR Winston Cup telecast of 1994, and Ned, looks like the yellow is still out, so we may go at least one more lap.
I think there's something on the racetrack somewhere, Bob, that they got to go out and check, so I think they will give them one more lap, which is a break for the guys. Jeff Burton and his crew in the 8 car, they're still working on it. It's still sitting on pit road, so it gives them a little bit more time.
And Jeff Burton crashed that car yesterday afternoon in that last practice session, hit the wall. He's not been on the racetrack since then. Also, let me tell you that Derek Cope in the Fingerhood car also crashed yesterday afternoon in the last practice session.
Todd Bodine took the provisional to get into this race. We had 8 drivers go home. Billy Standridge, Rick Corelli, Bob Schacht, H.B. Bailey, Andy Belmont, Norm Benning, Curtis Markham, and Loy Allen. Here's John once again.
Well, Bob, they are working very hard, very frantically. One note, they still haven't gotten the engine fired. They must take the green flag at the start of the race, or they're going to have to park it regardless if they get it fixed. After this, we've got one more lap to go before they go green, so they've got just a short amount of time to get the engine fired, or they're going to have to park their car.
Well, that's a tough break because Jeff Burton is leading the Max Race Cars Rookie of the Year standings going into this race. Had a tremendous run at Atlanta a couple of weeks ago.
That would really be a tough break for Jeff, and especially after what the crew went through fixing that crashed race car.
There are 5 drivers starting this race on Hoosier tires. Jeff, one of them. The others are Jeff Bodine, Darrell Waltrip, Jeff's brother Ward Burton, and also Greg Sachs, and of course Darrell Waltrip we mentioned. So now we're a half a lap from getting the green. This is a 293 lap race. As I indicated during Speed Week, that we've never done a 400-mile race in the spring here. They've always been 500-milers.
And NASCAR has told us that Burton and his crew has met all the criteria to run in the race. So if they get the car repaired, he will be able to start even though he doesn't take the green.
The pace car has pulled off the racetrack, and now 41 drivers look for a green flag in the beginning of this event here this afternoon that's being run under cloudy skies and the threat of rain. A huge crowd is on hand here, perhaps the largest ever at Darlington, and here comes the field out of turn number 4 looking for the green flag, being led by Bill Elliott. The Burton car is fired, the green is out, the race is on.
Burton can actually take the green flag on pit road. He's coming down across the starting line right now.
There goes Jeff onto the racetrack while the field accelerates through the 3rd and 4th turns.
Bill Elliott no longer has not led a lap in 1994. He just led the first lap here at Darlington.
But Mark Martin is right on his back bumper and looking for the opportunity to pass while Sterling Marlin is running in 3rd position. Those 3 cars are broken away from Chuck Bound, Brett Bodine, and the others. Here is Marlin now making a move to the inside and taking 2nd position from Mark Martin as Elliott continues to show the way.
Back in the pack a little bit, Ernie Irvin went from 11th to 8th on the first lap. He's on the move.
This is the view that Mark Martin sees.
And John Kernan is down at the Jeff Burton pit.
We're with Kenny Wilson, the crew chief. And Kenny, what was the problem? You changed spark plugs and then you finally got it fired.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it wasn't fired there. We put the plugs in and got it fired off. Got a caution coming in lap 25, and we're going to try to get it all back together right then.
That's Kenny Wilson, the word. Now, what he's talking about on the caution on lap 25, if there's not a caution before that in the drivers' meeting this morning, Gary Nelson told the drivers that they would throw the caution flag at lap 25 in order to come in and check the tire wear. Now, I apologize for getting that first thing wrong, guys, about him taking the green flag, but that's what we were told down here. There was a little bit of confusion. NASCAR officials finally got it all cleared up.
Elliott continues to lead, but now Sterling Marlin looks to the inside in turn 1, stays in second position as Mark Martin runs third. Fourth is Chuck Bound, and fifth is Brett Bodine, while Ken Schrader and Ernie Irvin follow him.
Well, Sterling Marlin had an awfully good qualifying run starting on the outside pole, but he said after he made his qualifying run, they didn't have a good qualifying car. He said, I got a good car for the race, so it looks like he knew what he was talking about.
Here's the Pyroil in-car camera being carried by Mark Martin, who's running in third spot.
I tell you what, not very much effort with that steering wheel on Mark Martin's car. Normally they would be fighting that thing like a swarm of bees, but watch this, barely back and forth. That's a sign of a great handling race car.
And now Sterling Marlin once again challenges Bill Elliott as he pulls alongside him down the backstretch. They go into that precarious third turn, and Marlin gains the top spot, but Elliott will cut down to the inside and race Sterling side by side as other battles continue in the back of the pack.
Ernie Irvin still moving up towards the front.
And Sterling Marlin leads the lap, has passed Bill Elliott. There he goes. And this is the in-car camera for Bill Elliott's car.
Ernie Irvin has moved to 6th position from his 11th starting spot. Bill Elliott runs second. Another battle rages on. That's John Andretti leading that group of 4. Ricky Rudd also there, along with Jimmy Spencer and Steve Grissom. Kyle Petty comes along, and so does Michael Waldrop. And now Spencer pulls to the inside of Rudd.
Spencer wasn't able to get alongside Ricky Rudd, so wisely backed off. See that Kyle Petty and Michael Waldrop have caught this group.
That's about 20th, 21st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And Irvin continues his march toward the front. He has passed Ken Schrader and now has Brett Bodine just ahead of him in the Quaker State Ford. Now Ernie comes off of the second corner and goes to the inside of Brett and gets him, and Ken Schrader will come along.
Brett started 5th. Still running in that position until right now. Now he drops back to 7th.
And Dale Earnhardt is also moving up. Here he goes to the inside of Brett and passes him.
Wow! And here comes Rusty Wallace trying to follow Earnhardt towards the front.
Earnhardt started 9th. Now 7th.
These cars, we see Jeff Gordon on the inside on Jeff Bodine. They're racing down the back stretch. Bodine backs off. Gordon takes a spot. Great pass, Bobby Labonte following this group of cars. It's a good run for Bobby Labonte. And Dale Jarrett right behind Labonte.
Long on this racetrack finish for the chassis to sort out so that you know what you got. They can run awfully fast for a few laps, and then once the tires get heated up and a little bit of rubber strips off of them, that's when the chassis really comes into play.
There's Harry Gant making his final start in a spring race at Darlington. Of course, he'll be here for the Southern 500 for his final race here at the track. Too tough to tame. It's Sterling Marlin leading Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Chuck Bound, and Ernie Irvin in the early stages of the TranSouth Financial 400. ESPN Speed World is being brought to you by Allied Signals, Autolite spark plugs guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go. By the Valvoline Performance Team. And by your local Yamaha dealer who invites you to see their exciting line of motorcycles, ATVs, and snowmobiles. Bill Elliott continues to run in second position behind Sterling Marlin. We're riding with him right now. Some great battles going on all over the racetrack. Here is Morgan Shepherd and Derek Cope racing side by side. And for a car that was badly damaged yesterday, Cope isn't doing too bad.
I tell you what, folks, he smashed the wall awfully hard going in the third corner. And I'm surprised this car is running this well as Morgan Shepherd was able to get by.
That's 16th and 17th they were running for.
There is Ted Musgrave behind Derek Cope.
It's a shame, too, because Derek Cope's car was running very, very well. There was Musgrave trying to get alongside. Can't make it.
And Derek Cope's car owner, Cale Yarborough, celebrating his 54th birthday today. Happy birthday. Jerry Punch has a report in the on the pit lane about the driving style that's being adopted here in the early going. Jerry?
Guys, you mentioned Derek Cope, who hit the wall yesterday. He and another car involved because there was a lot of concern about the wear of the right front tire. Now, a lot of drivers, so we may have to be conservative at the start of tomorrow's race, talking about today's TranSouth 400. But because you heard John Furner say that 25-lap pit stop, if they're going to let them stop at 25 laps and look at the wear on the right front tire, then you better go ahead and use it up and drive as hard as you're going to drive all day long. And that's why the Kodak crew has turned Sterling Marlin loose to go run as hard as he can run for 25 laps, then come in, and we will all take a look at those right front tires.
And it's obviously the word that several drivers have been given. Here is the 5-car of Terry Labonte on the inside of Cope, and that is Hutch Strickland coming along also, passing
Ted Musgrave.
That's Strickland in the Smoke and Joe's car number 23 right in the middle of all of that. Here comes Kyle Petty.
And as you probably saw, Dale Earnhardt has moved to second position, passing Bill Elliott, while we watch this battle here. Now there is Strickland, also passing Cope.
Tires are wearing on Derek Cope's car. He's struggling.
And we're only 6 laps away from that caution. And here's Jerry Punch with the story on Mark Martin.
We told you some drivers are going to be very aggressive in the first 25 laps. Mark Martin has a very, very loose race car. Steve Mill and the crew realize no need for Mark to go ahead and use the car up right now because we're going to get the stop at lap 25 and check the tires. So Mark, just be patient, back off the throttle, save the car, we'll dial it in, and then we can go get him after the first caution.
And here is Dale Earnhardt taking the lead from Marlin, making a nice move between the third and fourth turns, and Dale Earnhardt picks up 5 bonus points.
How about that?
Hey, that's pretty impressive, coming from ninth place up as good as Sterling Marlin was running and coming up through the pack. And you can see there how he did it.
Yeah, the interval shrank from 1.9 seconds between Marlin and Earnhardt on the 13th lap to 1.1 on lap number 17.
And look at those lap times by Earnhardt. 32.5 was the fastest, and they qualified at about 30 flat. So already these cars are slowed down 2.5 seconds.
And they're driving just as hard as they did when they were qualifying. It's just simply that the tires have heated up and scrubbed a little rubber off.
Now we see Bill Elliott. He's dropping back, our pole sitter, all the way back to fifth spot right now.
He's having to fight the wheel a little bit there, too. He might be getting a little bit loose.
Less than 3 laps before they'll come in or get the automatic caution to come in and check the tire wear. Right behind Elliott is Mark Martin, who's going for his 3rd win of the weekend. He won the IROC race yesterday, and he also won the Busch Grand National race. Jerry?
Obviously, Bill Elliott is having a struggling trying to hang on to the race car. He radioed to the pits a moment ago, and Mike Beam, the crew chief, jumped down off his perch on the pit box, has jumped up on the pit wall with a ratchet wrench in his right hand. A lot of these drivers now beginning to scream a little bit about the cars getting very, very loose.
Here's Bill Elliott's serial. On lap 4, he was the leader, then fell back to second through the 16th lap, and then all the way back to 5th position by lap number 22.
Well, Bob, they're working just finished the 24th lap, so it'll be 25 when they come back around the next time. So we'll see if they do get that caution that NASCAR told them in the driver's meeting that they were expecting to throw after 25 laps, so they could check those tires out.
Rusty Wallace has moved to third position. There he is behind second place Sterling Marlin as Bill Elliott, or rather Dale Earnhardt continues to lead the race. Here they come down to complete lap number 25.
But the caution is not out in the flagman's hand, so they're still going on.
Darrell Waltrip wants a caution flag because he is right in front of the leader, Dale Earnhardt. They will see Waltrip and Earnhardt, so Waltrip says, please, so that caution flag save me a lap.
Jerry, what's going on?
Well, I'm not sure. Now they said the caution will come out this time, and yes, indeed, the yellow flag begins to wave. The crews were definitely wanting to see the yellow flag. So were the drivers to get a look at the right side tires. They wanted to complete 25 laps, not just begin the 25th lap. So now the yellow flag comes out, and we'll all get a look and see how those tires are wearing on the right side.
And the leader, Earnhardt, takes the caution flag, and so does the rest of the field.
And you're right, Benny. Darrell Waltrip was happy to see that caution because he could look up in his rearview mirror and Earnhardt was bearing down on him, about to put a lap on him.
Go ahead.
Earnhardt brings the field slowly down the back straightaway. The pace car will pick these cars up as they go in the third corner. And then all the cars that are pitted on the front, the 23 cars that are pitted on the front, will go in the pits. Then the pace car will speed up and take the cars that are going to pit on the back quickly through the first and second corner, let them get on the pits on the back straightaway, and then as he comes back around to get these other fellows, he will slow down.
Here comes Earnhardt, Marlin, and the others down pit road to have the tires checked. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Well, we're going to show you all three of the leaders coming down the pit and get those tires changed. The 4-car, Sterling Marlin, the 2-car, Rusty Wallace, and the 3-car. So a pair of Chevrolets and a Ford as they come down pit road at 55 miles per hour. Here is the Goodrich Chevrolet in. Likewise, Sterling Marlin, 4 on top, 2 in the middle, 3 on the bottom. So it is Chevrolet, Ford, and Chevrolet. If you're watching right side tires, now already have been replaced on the car number 3. Likewise, they move to the left side of the car number 4. Car number 2, Rusty Wallace is 4. Well, Rusty's out, Earnhardt is out, and they drop the car number 4 check, and it's a race back to turn 1, guys. Who's going to win?
Well, it looks like maybe Rusty Wallace was first to cross that line down there at the end of pit road, but it was close between Wallace and Earnhardt.
I'll tell you what, there were some great pit stops going on that time.
They really were.
Jeff Gordon had a good pit stop.
Yes, he did, yeah.
Yeah, the next stop.
And there's, look at the inside the car trying to make adjustments on Derek Colt's car. The man says, I'm finished, all done.
And Derek is the last to move off of pit road here on the front straightaway. And here's a race out of pit road, and it was a good one. Now, Jeff Gordon will be among the first to pull out in about the middle of your screen. There's right. Jeff coming out, Ernie in front of him, and then Wallace may have had contact with Ernie as they came out, but Rusty did win the battle.
And I tell you what, he and Earnhardt, Rusty and Earnhardt, it was almost a tie going across that white line.
Here's Darrell Waltrip pitted on the backstretch as he gets fresh rubber on that car. He almost was in a position to go a lap down when the caution came out with the Western Auto Chevrolet. Free shot, and he pulls back out.
We see making a chassis adjustment on that 40 car, Bobby Hamilton car. They forgot something.
Whoops.
The ratchet is sticking through the rear window. Now he's going back in the pits to get the ratchet out.
He's pitted on the backstretch, so he'll come in and get that ratchet out of the car. We'll take another break and be back with more live coverage in just a moment. We remain under caution here at Darlington, South Carolina in the TranSouth Financial 400 NASCAR Winston Cup race. The caution because of a tire check. Jerry, how was the wear in the first 25 laps?
Bob, it was excellent. Goodyear gets a very good mark for this. This is the right front tire off Dale Earnhardt's Goodrich Chevrolet. The big concern was the inside of the right front tire, the inside 2 or 3 inches here. Now what happens is, here at Darlington, a lot of the teams are running negative camber, which means they lean the top of the tire in this way. And what Goodyear recommends is no more than 3 degrees of negative camber. Some of the teams running 4 or 4.5 degrees, which means the tire basically rides totally on the inside shoulder. And that's where we saw all the wear in practice yesterday afternoon. So a combination of excessive negative camber and low air pressure caused a problem. A lot of teams changed that this morning, and after 25 laps, we're not seeing much in the way of wear, at least here in the Goodwrench pits. Back upstairs.
And Earnhardt was one of those drivers that was having some problems yesterday in practice, so it looked like they do have it corrected.
They put Earnhardt in front of Rusty Wallace. They made the decision that Earnhardt did, in fact, beat Wallace to that white line at the end of pit road, and it had to be by just a matter of inches.
Wallace will be second, Ernie Irvin third, then Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Rick Mast, Ken Schrader, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, Brett Bodine, and Ted Musgrave. As the field once again has been given the indication that they'll get the green flag this time around, and we'll be back to racing.
Probably the big loser on that pit stop was Chuck Bowen. He was running in the top 10, and he's right behind Ted Musgrave now. He is back to the 14th position. Gordon Shepard is 15th.
Bringing the cars down slow, gets the green flag, accelerates for off racing again.
We had 5 laps under caution for the tire check, and now we go back to competition as Jeff Gordon positions his DuPont Chevy to the inside of Elliott there into the first turn, but falls back behind him as they come down the backstretch.
Here comes Rusty Wallace on the inside of Earnhardt. Takes that spot away.
You say, well, if I didn't get it beat him out, I need this thing. Get me 5 bonus points, so I'll just do it on the racetrack. Didn't take him long.
And Ernie Irvin, he follows Rusty Wallace.
This is the 8th time that Rusty Wallace has led here at Darlington. It's his 21st race at this grand old racetrack. He has never won here. His best finish was in 1988 in the Southern 500. Ernie Irvin now in second spot. Earnhardt back to third, Marlin fourth.
Sort of gauging by one, Earnhardt. There's Kyle Petty off the pace in the mellow yellow Pontiac.
Kyle going very slowly. Now begins to pick it up a little bit.
Looks like he's picked up a little bit. He stays out on the racetrack.
Yeah. Pulls in front of Greg Sachs on the backstretch.
I think it's good enough. Maybe ignition, maybe he switched over to the backup system. I started to say that about Earnhardt. If we watch Kyle Petty, he does seem to be getting back up to speed now. Judging from what he did on that first run, for the first 8 or 10 laps, he passed a couple of cars, but then he really asserted himself after that. So we'll hope his car goes better. We'll find out here in a little bit.
John Kernan has another update on tire wear. John.
Well, Bob, we've been up and down our side of pit road. We've only found one team with a problem. This is the right front off of Rick Mast. Now, with the flex wall and with the camber and the air pressure, what happens is you actually form a crack underneath and air starts seeping out. And you can see here's a bubble right here, a bubble right there. That's the first indication of trouble. We'll roll the tire back and show you what happens. After a while, it comes open like that. All of a sudden, you start seeping and leaking air, and you do have a problem. Now, this is one of the teams that yesterday during practice, even with about 4 1/4 degrees of negative camber, they did not have a tire problem with their right front yesterday. So they may have been a little bit more aggressive today with that 25-lap caution rule coming in automatically.
We will continue to follow the tire wear story throughout the afternoon. The problem is not the fact that the track is rough. It is not a rough racetrack. It is an abrasive racetrack. The compound, the surface here is so abrasive that it simply wears the tires away.
And the fact, Bob, I don't have it measured any of the tracks, but from the time you go into turn 3 and come off of turn 4, that's probably one of the longest turns in racing, especially as far as the banking is concerned. Certainly with Talladega, you have long sweeping turns, but the banking is much higher.
Look at the speed increase from tire changes
there. Yeah, boy, that's quite a bit. We'll see that all afternoon here.
Yeah, we can see as they put laps on these tires, it gets slower and slower and slower, down to 147 miles an hour at the end of 25 laps. And at the end of 25 laps, that's what Rusty Wallace will be running. 148, 149 miles an hour maximum.
Well, I want to finish my story about this turn from 3 to 4 around there. You're not only you have centrifugal force, which is grinding rubber off the tires, but also you got the pulling force. In fact, you're going around there in almost a controlled slide at the back end of the start, so you're grinding rubber off the tires.
Brett Bodine and Ted Musgrave running close together, battling for position on the racetrack. That is for 12th spot. Musgrave moves inside in the Family Channel Ford. He started 20th and passes Brett, picks up the spot.
Yeah, looks like Brett Bodine is losing the handle a little bit on that Quaker State Ford.
You know, I said that Chuck Bound might have been one of the big losers. Harry Gant lost quite a few positions also on that pit stop. Harry was running 10th, and he is now running in 13th position, 15th position.
Meanwhile, back up front, it is still Rusty Wallace showing the way over Ernie Irvin. Irvin began his career with the Robert Yates team during the Southern 500 here at Darlington last year, finishing in 5th spot. Now watch this, the 32 of Trickle and the 40 of Hamilton in turn 3. Boom.
Boy, that was close. That could have been a big wreck, but only the experience of a guy like Dick Trickle kept it from being a big wreck.
And Bill Elliott, a pole sitter, is dropping back. Last lap, the 24 car got by. Now Rick Mass is trying to get by.
He is in 7th position, and the 40 car of Hamilton has a tire down, and there's a battle for the lead on the front stretch. At the line, Irvin takes the lead.
Yellow flag is out.
Second caution.
And we can see the tire, the tread came off the 40 car as he came off the second corner. It's laying back on the racetrack, coming off the second corner.
That is the reason for the caution. Bobby Hamilton's tire has come apart.
Someone told us that Ernie there's the metal that the caution flag was waved for.
You wonder if Bobby Hamilton might have cut the tire when he got up with Dick Trickle there. Let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch.
That's exactly what happened as Bobby Hamilton's tire began to shred entering turn 1. Some of the sheet metal around the tire well came out on the racetrack, and that was right in front of the leaders. And both the 28 car and the 2 car saw it, but at speed, they couldn't avoid it, and both of them ran over small pieces of debris. That's one of the reasons that every crew down here wants to see their drivers come back down pit road again and get some fresh rubber. That's indeed the case. Car number 3, the Goodrich Chevrolet in. He will get right side tires. Right behind him, the car number 11, up, as well as the car number 2 back up pit road. Left side 28 car is in. That is Ernie Irvin. That 28 is out. The 2's out. They're still working here on Dale Earnhardt's left side tires. And Rusty Wallace will be the first one off, followed by Ernie Irvin. Then comes Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon as they head back for turn 1.
No doubt about it. Rusty was first off the pit road that time, followed by Irvin, and then Earnhardt out third.
I tell you what, we've got people on the back straightaway as these cars are leaving.
Here again is the contact between Hamilton and Trickle.
That could have been bad. And maybe Hamilton cut down his right rear tire as he went by the 32 car of Dick Trickle.
Yep.
Could possibly have cut down his right rear.
In any case, the second caution of the day waves over this Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. You're tuned to live coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400 here on ESPN. Back in just a moment. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, Dr. Jerry Punch back at Darlington Raceway for the Winston Cup Series race here. And Mayflower, the transportation van lines company, has given drivers of the rigs that haul these cars to the racetrack an opportunity to show their skills.
And last year's champion, this is him, Mike Culberson, the truck driver for the 12 car. This is down in Atlanta.
Yeah, we originally aired this during the Busch show at Atlanta. Oh, little pylon
call there. He also got a very slow start, did Mike? But we can see these guys weaving back and forth, back and forth.
This, by the way, is round 2. Round 1 was held at Daytona. This is how it went at Atlanta. And the finals are going to be held here at Atlanta this fall.
Now, this is the winning run. This is a truck driver for Darrell Waltrip's Western Auto Chevrolet. Tom McCrimmon He said he knocks over a cone too, but he had a much faster start than did Mike and the rest of the competitors.
The finals, I should say, will be held at Atlanta in the fall. I'm sorry, at Darlington, here.
There's another place. There we see Tom Impriman as he goes back and forth, back and forth. Now he's back in the vehicle. He's got to back this thing, and he's going to get this thing between the cones when he backs up, Bob. It's back, and he has to do all this by looking in the mirror. I mean, I can't even drive a truck. How these guys do it is
I can't back a car this well, Benny.
That's true.
Here he comes.
And watch as he backs this thing between the cones. See, now he has to put that trailer between all that stuff.
Oh, man.
And not hit anything.
No way.
That. Look at that. And we see the Maple Air officials back to him. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, that's it.
Boy, great job.
The winning time, he gets a check for $1,500. He's got to get his hat. Or his jacket, that's right.
There it is. Congratulations, and we'll see how he fares when the contest is over this fall. We continue to run under caution. We'll take another quick break and be back with live coverage from Darlington, South Carolina. And we've won 3/4 of a lap under green. It is still Rusty Wallace showing the way. And Dale Earnhardt.
Mark's led a few laps during the caution period there.
Looks like Ernie Irvin and Rusty Wallace, these cars are so even. If they both run 500 miles, it's going to be who gets out of the pits quickest and who makes that last chassis adjustment the best.
Irvin going for 3 in a row. Here's Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon with Sterling Marlin, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Tell you what, Jeff Gordon get a little racy on him.
His car's running good today. He's had good pit stops.
Here's an Autolite field summary showing you how the cars were running last time by.
Did you know that Jeff Gordon, they've named their crew as well? You know, we got the Blind Aces with Earnhardt. We've got the Fabulous T-Birds with Jeff Burton. Well, there's a Schrader trying to get by the 12 car, Chuck Bound.
Schrader was the big loser on the pit stops. He went in 9th place, came out in 15th. Now he's about to lose that position. Maybe not. He's going to stay up there, I guess, that he just took away. Moved him to 14th.
Yes, you're right, Benny. They have named themselves the Rainbow Warriors.
Rainbow Warriors. That playing off the rainbow on the hood of the car, the DuPont colors.
This is Jeff's 3rd start here at Darlington. His best finish was 22nd last September here, so he's certainly looking to improve on that. And he's run much better than that 22nd position shows.
Only one car is not on the lead lap, so 40 remain on the lead lap. The 52 car of Brad Teague is 2 laps down.
The Napa Auto Parts car that's owned by Jimmy Means. Ooh, whoa, can't do that, guys. Can't go into this turn 3 abreast. Wally Dallenbach knew that was not the smart thing to do.
There's Nemechek going by Jeff Bodine, and Bodine had a great qualifying run. Back up. Jerry Punt, what's his problem?
Benny, they're having trouble with the car being so doggone loose you just can't drive it. Paul Andrews said, our number one concern is safety. We don't want to lose a driver or a race car. We have tried a lot of different things, including putting a rubber in the left rear to try to even up the spring rates, but the car just is not able to go in the corner and stick. So Bodine, who started 7th, is now languishing back around 20th or 21st spot.
Yeah, he just lost the 20th position. He's in 21st right now. Behind him is Wally Dallenbach, Jimmy Hensley, Steve Grissom, Michael Waltrip, and Ward Burton.
Ooh, boy, they're getting close. There's Ward Burton coming down on the inside of Michael Waltrip. Ward in the Hardy's car. They almost bought the farm there, as they say.
That put Ward in 30th position and Michael Waltrip back to 31st. Steve Grissom, one of the rookie candidates.
Steve lost his crew chief this week and team manager, Eddie Jones and Mark Reno. Eddie was the team manager and Mark Reno was the crew chief, and they resigned. And Gordon Gibbs.
Gordon Gibbs is calling the shots down the pits today.
And John Kernan has more on the Wally Dallenbach run, and currently he's 26th.
Well, Bob, you have to take small steps at a time, and you know it really is good to see that number 43 STP Pontiac back out there. I was talking with Wally this morning. You know, they have missed the last couple of races. They haven't been able to get in through qualifying. The King, even a couple of weeks ago at Atlanta, said he was going to take more of an interest and do a little more work back in the shop, and it seems to have started them on the uphill climb. They're getting closer to the top of the hill. Wally, in fact, says he believes they have found something that they were missing before, so they're expecting to be at every race from here on out. But it really is good to see that race car back on the racetrack.
Benny, if there was any driver who had a lot of weight on his shoulders in qualifying on Friday, it was Wally Dallenbach.
It was Wally Dallenbach, and did qualify that well, 37th, but he's in the race. Now the pressure really goes to Bristol. Our next race, there are only 34 cars.
And that's up from 32.
That is correct. They have increased the starting fields at Bristol, Norfolk, and Martinsville because of the large number of entries that NASCAR is getting for these NASCAR Winston Cup races. So 34 start the next 3 events, and we will, by the way, have live coverage of all 3.
Michael Walker falling back from that group. The Pennzoil Pontiac.
He's 29.
Who knows how close they're running together, and has seen a little rubbing going on up there. He might drop back far enough to miss the wreck in case it happens. And I'm not saying these guys can have a wreck, but they've certainly been racing hard.
Steve Grissom looks to the inside of Hensley. Meanwhile, back up front, it is still Rusty Wallace, followed closely by Irvin and Earnhardt.
Earnhardt is caught. Ernie Irvin looked to me like a moment ago. Irvin and Wallace going to pull away, but here comes Earnhardt, right closing up on the back bumper of Ernie Irvin, and is going to try to pass him down the back straightaway. He's not going to try. He's going to do it.
He's going to do it.
Yeah, he's got to run.
And look at Jeff Gordon. Oh, he brakes going into the corner, thinking better of it. It's probably wisely.
Yeah, if he'd have gone in there that hard, he'd have slid right up in there. He had too much speed to go in down on the inside.
And now Sterling Marlin begins to close in on Jeff Gordon. Sterling running 5th. Ernie trying to get Earnhardt back. Doesn't have the momentum off the corner. Dale Earnhardt started 9th. He led at one point, currently in 2nd position. The lowest he has been in the scoring is 9th. He led 10 laps.
Again, it just looks like after they run 8 or 10 laps under green, his car really gets close.
Yes, it does, Dan. It looks like that Wallace and Irvin. Ever see Brett Bodine trying to get back by Rick Mast?
That's for 9th. Brett passes Rick, and so Brett moves to 9th.
Well, most of the passing we've seen as far as Brett's concerned were people passing him, so they've worked on that Quaker State Ford, got him a little bit better.
And Harry Gant and Ted Musgrave are now closing in on Rick Mast.
And Terry LaFont right behind Musgrave. There we see him in that yellow and white-red car.
That put Rick Mast back to 10th, so Gant's at 11th, Musgrave 12th. Terry Labonte
is right there behind Ted Musgrave. Here's Chuck Bound, Bobby Labonte, and Morgan Shepherd dueling for position. Oh, Bound, a little sideways.
very sideways.
Labonte crashes all 3 of those cars.
Labonte hits the inside wall very hard. Morgan Shepherd hit the outside wall. He has narrowed that Citgo Ford up some.
Boy, we got in on the ground floor of that thing, didn't we?
Oh, man. Hate to see that.
Sure as the world do.
Bobby Labonte had a great run going in at Maxwell House Pontiac.
Well, he has the car moving, but it's going in the wrong direction, and it isn't.
Bobby, turn around.
It isn't going exactly where he wants it to go. Now he's
trying to go pitch.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah.
Labonte suffering damage on the right front. He's got some major damage. Here we go. Let's see what happened here.
We see Chuck Bound, and it looks like that his car just got high, and he couldn't get it down. And Bobby Labonte tries to go under him, and he gets sideways and just gets touched in the right rear by the 12 car. And meanwhile, Morgan's trying to dodge him all. He runs in the outside wall.
Yeah, Morgan shot up. He thought he had room on the outside. That was really his only alternative, and he got pinned into the wall. So there is right side damage to the sit-go forward. And you see Morgan coming in now. The right front tire has already gone flat, and there's damage to the left front. You can see there as well.
And I think Morgan's going to the garage, is he? Yes.
Looks like it, yeah.
Oh, yes, he is. You're right. Or at least behind him. Yep.
Here's all the cars coming down pit road. Caution flag is out. So they'll all come in, change tires.
This is our third caution of the day. Wallace finds his spot. And there's Jerry.
And we're going to let you watch all three of them pit once again. A major chassis adjuster in the right side of the 2 car. He will get all 4 tires. Likewise, right side tires going on the car number 28, the Haviland Ford of Ernie Irvin. They are also going to make an adjustment on the right rear of Ernie Irvin's car. Here's the car number 2. He's down on the left side tires on the car number 3. Who will win the race back to turn 1? It will be Rusty Wallace. Then comes Earnhardt, and looks like possibly Bill Elliott and Dale Jarrett race to turn 1.
Very, very fast pit stops during that session. Some less than 18 seconds.
Well, Dale Jarrett went in 8th place and came out about 3rd.
Look at this. A lot of activity now on the back pits. Here comes Rudd out along with Jimmy Spencer, Kyle Petty, Nemechek, Labonte. And there is
Greg Sachs, Darrell Waltrip, dialing back, almost had a crash with Steve Grissom.
And then almost hit Bobby Hamilton.
Awfully good cars pitting on the backstretch. In fact, there were some cars that broke the track record in qualifying pitting on the backstretch.
26 cars broke the track record on qualifying Friday, and only 23 pit spots on the front. 3 of those guys, Ricky Rudd, Dave Marcus, and Terry Labonte, had to pit on the back straightaway, even though they broke the track record.
Jerry has a rundown on what we just saw.
They're keeping a running total here in the pits of what each team does on their pit stops. Rusty Wallace's last pit stop at lap 42 when he beat everyone down pit road. It looked like he was the only one that was going to be back in turn 1 all alone. His stop was 16.81 seconds. This most recent pit stop, they were a little bit slower, guys. They must have taken a deep breath in between changing tires. They were 17.9 seconds, almost a second and 10th slower, but still, the result was the same.
Excellent work on pit road. Here's the pit stop summary. Rusty stayed the same. So did Earnhardt. Irvin from 3rd to 10th. Gordon lost 4 positions, and Sterling Marlin lost 1.
And Dale Jarrett went from 8th to 3rd. A great pit stop by the Interstate Battery Crew.
The 3rd caution was brought out because of this. That's Bobby Labonte and Chuck Bound. Gathering up Morgan Shepherd. Bobby Labonte got the worst end of the deal. His car made head-on contact with the inside wall off of turn number 4. They continued to work on it. Back with more live coverage in just a moment of the TranSouth Financial 400. The TranSouth Financial 400 on ESPN Speed World from Darlington, South Carolina. This is why we are under caution. Chuck Bound, Bobby Labonte, and Morgan Shepherd.
Boy, look at Jimmy Spencer come through there.
Just barely. Now watch and listen from the in-car of Morgan Shepherd. Jeff Gordon has fallen back in the scoring. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Bob, the Rainbow Warriors had to do a little bit extra dance. They had to use a strap because on the left side of the car, the tailpipe had come loose and it was starting to hang down. So it took a little extra time after they got the left side tires changed to take the strap and to secure the tailpipe. They lost, what, 4 spots in the pits? What is it? It only took them about extra 2 seconds to do that. That's how competitive it is down here on pit road.
Yep, he went from 4th and will now restart in 8th position.
Another driver who had a good pit stop was Harry Gant. He's up in the 5th position. He went in about 11th, I think.
Green flag is out after 5 laps for that caution period.
And Ernie Irvin wasted no time in trying to get by 10 minutes. Mark
Martin is also trying to move up.
And he's trying to get by Gordon. Here comes Ernie. They're side by side.
Wow. Look at that car stick.
Man. And Muskrat's going to try Gordon on the inside.
Gordon had to back off just a little bit when Irvin got on the inside of it. Now he's trying to get back in that groove.
Oh, Rudd gets to the wall.
Boy, he
second
does.
corner.
He really got high off that turn. I think he did get a piece of the wall. There he is going into turn 3. He wants to feel that thing out going into the turn, not knowing he did damage and pushed the fender in against the tire.
Now Mark Martin shoots to the inside of Musgrave.
Trying to pass his teammate, and his teammate says, okay, go ahead. You can have the inside.
That's for 10th position. They're side by side coming off the corner. Rick Mast watching and following Mark past Musgrave.
Musgrave says, why not let him go by? Now look what happened to him.
Lost 2 spots, not just 1. Kenny Schrader now will try to pick up a spot from Ted Musgrave. Boy, an interesting day last Wednesday at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway when Ken Schrader announced that he would enter a car in the Brickyard 400 for Gary Battenhausen. And Schrader got into Gary's Indy car for a couple of laps, as you see the average speed of the race. And it was funny, Kenny brought the car into the pit area after a couple of laps, one at 163 and one above 180. He looked up at John Menard, the car owner, and says, okay, now you can breathe and so can I.
Mark Martin, Rick Mast, Ted Musgrave, Kenny Schrader. Trying to get back to the front. Right now, Mark Martin in 10th spot. That's 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. We're seeing on the screen. Back to the lead. Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett is trying to work on Dale Earnhardt right behind for 2nd spot.
Jarrett's having a strong run here today. And John Kernan is with Morgan Shepherd.
Well, Morgan, it looks like you all were going to have a good run today. I know Eddie and the guys were really pleased with the race car, but when something happens in front of you, it's kind of hard to avoid it, isn't it?
Well, it just hadn't been a good week for us at Darlington, I reckon. First in the Busch car and now in the Winston Cup car. And I told Eddie and the guys, I said, the car is so good, I must stay here and take care of the tires, and we'll wait and see how things go, and I'll just keep everybody in sight and then go. And I was sitting there riding, and the 2 cars in front of me got together, and I was just a victim of circumstances.
Now they're working underneath the rear of the car. They can be able to get it fixed and get it back out.
Well, they'll get it to roll around the racetrack. I don't know how good. The car pretty much hit the wall pretty hard on the right side, knocked the rear end over, and knocked all the suspension out beneath the front.
Well, these guys will continue to work, but I tell you, they made a lot of friends on pit road after they pulled into the garage area. Everybody wanted to come and buy their tires from them.
The bidding war is going on. Morgan Shepherd, 4th going into this event in the point standings, only 132 behind Ernie Irvin, the leader, so it's going to be a bad situation regarding points for Morgan this weekend.
Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt passes Rusty Wallace. Here comes Ernie Irvin. Oh, can't make the move on Marlin.
Took the look. Was not able to get alongside.
Earnhardt has won 7 of the last 16 races here at Darlington, a 44% win average. Almost a win every other race.
Wow.
That is unbelievable on a track this tough. This shows how good that team is and how good he is.
This is also the 4th time that Dale has led an event in 1994. Irvin continuing to work on Marlin.
Trying to get by.
Okay, while we're watching Ernie here, I can give you this statistic. In the last 20 seasons, only 1 driver has equaled Ernie Irvin's 2.25 average finish for the first 4 races of any particular year. Who was the other driver?
Tell Yarborough.
Benny Parsons in 1978, who finished 2nd, 3rd, 1st, and 3rd in his first 4 races.
Really? How about that? That's amazing.
Here's Bill Elliott and Harry Gant.
Gant's trying to get by Bill. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett's hanging around the back bumper of Rusty Wallace. And here comes Harry on the inside. Tries to get by Elliott. And meanwhile, Ernie's trying to get alongside Sterling Marlin. Might have him going down to turn 1.
Yes, I think he does this time. Good side-by-side battle here.
But Sterling gets the momentum off the corner. Ernie may not have the pass made.
Now he does, yeah. And here comes Brett Bodine passing Marlin.
Sterling had no alternative but just to back off a little bit and let him go. And here's Rusty working on Earnhardt again, back up front.
Very competitive race underway here. Good battle back there for fourth also between Gant and Elliott.
Gant took a look, come off the second corner, couldn't get by.
We talked about great starts. Harry Gant is under his worst start of his career for the first 4 races. His average finish in the first 4, 34th. He wants to turn that around here this weekend.
He's had a lot of success here at Darlington. He loves to drive this racetrack.
He has won 4 races here at this track, 2 times in the spring and 2 times at the Southern 500.
You know, and the strange thing is, while he and Bill Elliott are racing like this, the leaders are not getting away from them.
Yep. Here's Gant's progression. Started 21st, then 16th at the end of 30 laps, moved to 11th at the end of 52, and by the 76th lap, he is in where he is currently running, 5th. Dale Earnhardt leading Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett as we have completed 80 laps of the TranSouth Financial 400. Bobby Labonte looking over the work on his car after a crash. We'll talk with him when we return to Darlington. Join us here at Darlington. We have a new leader. Rusty Wallace has taken over the top spot from Dale Earnhardt as Dale Jarrett, who started in 14th position, continues to run a very strong 3rd. Rusty Wallace back up front.
Harry Gant was able to get by Bill Elliott finally to take over the 4th spot.
In fact, Elliott's about to lose the 5th spot as Ernie Irvin comes up on him.
And there was a close call for Nemechek and Todd Bodine a couple of laps ago. Oh, wow. Bodine is totally sideways and saved it coming off corner 2.
And we see John Andretti going slowly down the back straightaway as we watch the 1st, 2nd, 3rd car. There he is.
Billy Hagan team picking up some Total Petroleum sponsorship along with the financial world, but Andretti is headed for the pit area. After a very strong qualifying performance last Friday, clocking in for 18th position. We promised you a conversation with Bobby Labonte. Here it is, John.
Thank you, Bob. Bobby, they're doing a lot of work on your race car. What happened out there on the racetrack?
Well, I tore it up pretty good. Reason why, trying to get by the 12 car, but I guess I didn't have him quite cleared. Got into him a little bit and got in the fence. Just a shame for the Maxwell's Pontiac. We were running pretty good out there today, I think. So new car, we'll get it back together and go get them at where we go to Bristol. Bristol, that's right, Bristol. So I got to go somewhere else next weekend. So, but anyway, we'll try to get them at Bristol. It's just one of them deals.
Well, they got a lot of work to do, and whenever we were going to break, guys, you saw Bobby bending down. He was actually pumping a small jack that they were using to push the rear clip back out because he had backed it in the wall. Really knocked down the clip. Just another one of those little innovations they have here in the garage area.
If he cannot get back on the racetrack, and if he is not running at the finish of this race, it'll be the first time in the last 19 that the Maxwell House Pontiac has not been running at the conclusion of a NASCAR Winston Cup race.
As we watch Ernie Irvin, just got around Bill Elliott a little bit ago. Now Bill's following him. Bill dropped back to 6th. Ernie's moved up to 5th.
I'll tell you that John Andretti is back on the racetrack. That is, here comes Brett Bodine, the Quaker State car, trying to get by Elliott. Can't make it.
John Kernan can tell us what brought John Andretti into the pits. John, what happened?
Well, Bobby apparently got up against him while he was out there on the racetrack and knocked a fender in on the tire. So one of the spotters apparently alertly caught that and told him about it because you don't want to blow out a tire right here. So they came into the pits for 4 tires and pulled the fender off of the tire to keep it from rubbing.
It has cost him 2 laps, however. He is 2 laps down in 38th position. Let's check the speeds here, Benny.
Well,
173, back off.
yeah, well, they didn't get a very good run that time. They run across a slow car up in the 3rd corner, and right beside the Bill Elliott right now is Mark Martin. We'll be seeing a white number 6 car in just no. The 6 car had to back off the gas as he came off the 2nd corner. He was alongside Bill Elliott as he came off the corner. Now Mark will try to get underneath the 11 car this time, I guess. We'll try the 11 car one more time with the telemetry and see. They'll probably run a little bit slower down the back straightaway than they do the front. 165 is all we saw that time, but he was not all the way to the corner. Now Morgan Shepard crashed a little bit ago, about right here, so he was running about 150 miles an hour when he ran to the outside wall. That's why it did so much damage.
Yep. Martin again looking to the inside of Elliott into 1. Continues to run a lower line through the corner. Now moves alongside Bill. Nope, has to drop back behind him.
Well, they have the best test of the tires going today. They've run the longest under this green flag run, I believe.
And we have a new leader.
Earnhardt's
back in front.
It looks like the way he passed it, he caught Rusty a little bit of a surprise.
He'd been working on him for a couple of laps, being as we was watching that other action there, and finally slipped under him.
Boy, Dale Jarrett needs a good finish here. He's been off to a very disappointing start, but is back in his old form of 93. Here is Earnhardt, and this is the way that he got.
Just comes alongside Rusty Wallace.
Got a great run coming off the turn and just slipped right under him.
So that's how Dale got the lead from Rusty. 36 cars are on the lead lap. The 17 car of Darrell Waltrip is the last car on the lead lap.
And he's about 200 yards in front of Dale Earnhardt, so he's in danger of going a lap down. We widen out there. You can see Darrell coming off of turn 4 and Earnhardt coming up on him. Rusty working on Earnhardt again. He wants to back out front.
You know, Darrell Waltrip was about to be lapped in Atlanta and went in, made some adjustments, and finished, what, 3rd in the race?
That's right.
So
never counted. Good battle up front for the top position between Earnhardt and Wallace.
Meanwhile, back behind him, Ernie Irvin has passed Harry Gant for the 4th position.
I'll tell you what, this trio has put some distance on the 4th place car of Ernie Irvin, though.
Yeah, they have. They pulled away pretty good.
Looks like Sterling Marlin is headed for pit road. The Kodak Film Chevrolet.
Right front tires flat, looks to me like.
Well, we said this was the strongest test they've had on the tires today. They've run the longest under green
Yes,
this
sir.
time.
You can see the right front tires flat on that car.
Sure is. And the crew goes to work. Jerry is there.
Unscheduled pit stop, obviously, for Sterling Marlin and the Kodak Chevrolet. Crew are going to make an adjustment if they had time. Yes, they will make an adjustment in the left rear, about a round and a half. Wallace going by, taking the lead over the Conor McQueen and Dale Earnhardt. And here's Earnhardt back on the inside. They are side by side. Sterling Marlin is down on the way after 4 tires, and they are still battling up front for the lead.
They sure are. They are going at it big time. Earnhardt inside of Wallace in turn 3.
He slides up. Now Rusty's going to try to come back. Earnhardt tried to block him, but he said no. Rusty said, no, I'm going to have the lead. Wow, this is great racing.
And look at the fans. They're loving it. And here comes Harry Gant in for a pit stop.
Jimmy Hensley is in the pits as well.
Gant relinquishing the 6th position to come in for tire change. Brings the Skull Bandit to a stop.
And Dale Jarrett slows. I believe he's about to hit into the pits as well. Yep.
Jimmy Hensley has his work completed as we see the work continuing on Harry Gant. Hensley is rolling again. began. And Dale Jarrett is coming in. Third place car on pit road, keeping it under 55 miles an hour as he stops in the interstate battery and goes to work.
You see that guy cleaning the grill off? A lot of rubber gets up here. They have overheating problems on this track a lot of times. More in September than they have here in the spring race. But all that rubber coming off of those tires.
He also had a right front tire flat on that interstate battery field.
A little trouble getting going because Cope was right ahead of him. Here is Sherry Punch.
We told you the problem, the concern was the inside margin, the inside shoulder of the right front tire. That's exactly where Sterling Marlin's problem occurred. The inside 2 inches of the tire began to bubble, you see here. Now the tread completely sheared away, some of the cord here being exposed. Sterling very, very fortunate he made the stop when he did. This tire probably would not have run one more lap. As pit stops continue, the car number 1 of Rick Mast makes his way down pit road. We'll probably see a lot of guys begin to come toward the pits now after running down and seeing what happened with the right front tire on the 4 car. Let's go to John Kirk.
Jerry, it was 4 tires, and they also tried to tighten up Rick Mast's car as they made a chassis adjustment and sent him on his way. They did a pretty good pit stop.
They got about 38 laps on their tires. They were last in on 63 when Jarrett and Marlin and the others came in, so about 38 laps. Here is Rusty Wallace, now the leader of the race.
And is pulled away from Dale Earnhardt quite a bit. Bob, you wonder if Earnhardt maybe is having a problem. He might be just staying out there.
No, Earnhardt's got a flat tire as well. He'll be in the next lap. Derek Cope just went by the 3 car, and Dale Earnhardt will come in the next time.
Here comes Jeff Gordon into the pits.
Earnhardt slows down in turn 3.
Well, as I said, that he keeps going. I thought he'd slowed down, but
here's John Kernan with Jeff Gordon's pit stop.
The crew already to work on the right side. They'll swing around to the left side. They will make a chassis adjustment in the right rear as the car was loose getting out of turn 2. A lot of rubber buildup on the grill. However, they did get that pretty well cleaned off. Now they had a problem with the jack bell. The car sitting on the jack bell before they could get the tire back. And back up that jack in a valuable time. Now on pit road, Jeff drops the clutch, guns it down as he heads toward turn 1.
And on the racetrack, we have Brett Bodine, who got into the wall. He didn't stop or anything. He scraped along it for quite a distance. Now has it going again. No caution.
I think he has a flat tire, too. Jeff Burton into the pits, and the Ray Vestas Ford.
So Jeff Gordon lost valuable track positioning there when that car fell off the jack. Brett Bodine brings the Quaker State Ford off the corner number 4 and into the pit area, and his right front is looking pretty bad. John Kernan will call this stop as Brett gets going.
Brett Bodine stops and hits the car perfectly. They'll go to work on the right side. It'll be a 4-tire change. Once again, we'll see a chassis adjustment. As you can see, that right front tire has started to shred. Brett could not stay out any longer, had to come in, otherwise he could have been in big trouble. They'll make the chassis adjustment on the right rear. Left side tires now going on and Brett. 19.1 seconds, a good stop.
Yes, indeed. He was running in 6th when he came in.
Looks like Rusty is coming into the pits. I'll tell you, if this thing goes green, Dale Jarrett's going to have a huge lead after everybody else makes their pit stop because he's running about 2 seconds a lap faster. Those that come in and get the fresh tires pick up about 2 seconds a lap. Rusty's coming towards you, Jerry.
Yes, he is, and for 2 reasons. Number 1, he wants to change tires. Number 2, his spotter said your grill is full of debris. So watch Buddy Parrott with a wire brush go over and begin to rake the front grill. He has now cleaned the grill and will change all 4 tires. Remember, the big problem here is these tires get abraded so much rubber to the grill and the car will overheat. 10.5, and the catch cam is stuck in the back of the car. Now Rusty backs it up to his pit. They will take the catch cam, and also the left side lug nuts were off the car, so Rusty now has to back up into his pit. The left front and left rear lug nuts, the crew cam, as you're watching now, you see Brad Parrott. They now put lug nuts on, and he's away. They've taken the right side tires, and here's the car number 11 down pit road. And the 3 is Earnhardt. Make a chassis adjustment on the car number 11. Tires going on both the 3 and the 11 cars. Chevrolet, Ford, Earnhardt, and and Elliott. Everyone trying to come in, guys, and take a look at the tire wear, and more importantly, maybe clean that front grill.
Earnhardt is away, and now Elliott begins to move also in a very uncharacteristic pit stop for Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, very rare that you see them have the problems that they had there. Uncharacteristic, you're right, of that team.
And the pit stops continue as Ken Schrader is in, and so is Hunt Strickland. We're bringing you live coverage from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Darlington Raceway in South Carolina for ESPN's live coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400. The leader of the race is the 77 car of Greg Sachs, but he has not pitted.
He don't act like a leader.
They're running right by. Yeah, boy, those newer tires really make a big difference.
When he does come in, it'll be Dale Jarrett who picks up the lead, followed by Harry Gant, Sterling Marlin, and Dale Earnhardt. Here's Hunt Strickland passing the leader. Sachs is on those old tires.
And right behind him, there we see he's slowing down. Looks like he may be going in the pits this time. Yes, he is.
So that puts Dale Jarrett in front.
That's correct.
And Chuck Bowen on the inside of Jarrett going up into turn 3 as we watch Greg Sachs in the U.S. Air Jasper Engines car make his way to the pits.
And that was the first time that Greg has led in 1994. There is Rusty Wallace, and look at the difference in the speed. Before the change, 146.7. After the change, 157.6. Almost 11 miles an hour. Here's Jerry Punch with another report on the tires.
Guys, about 11 o'clock this morning, Goodyear sold the last tire they had brought here to Darlington, meaning most of the teams who needed more tires couldn't get them, so they had to make a separate plan. What happens if you run out of tires, you still have 100 miles to go? Well, that's where you make a deal. And Let's Make a Deal began this morning about 10 o'clock. This is Ernie Irvin's tire recovery plan. This is the pit map here. This is where Ernie is pitting right here in the 28 car. The red marks are crews that have agreed to give Ernie's team their tires if they have trouble. Take a look here. Morgan Shepherd, Brett Bodine, Chuck Bound. Over here, Rich Bickle's car, the 90 car of Mike Wallace. These teams have struck a deal with the 28 team. If they fall out and they can no longer use their tires, they will commit them solely to this car, number 28.
Was Monty Hall down there in the pits, Jerry, this morning?
Boy, they were making deals everywhere, Bob, and it happens every week here. You know, Goodyear brought more than the minimum required number of tires, 800 left side and 800 right side. They knew that Darlington is very tough. It's very abrasive, as you said, on the rubber here. But many teams have 10 or 11 sets, and thus far, 10 sets might not get it done here at 293 laps.
That's for sure. Dale Jarrett in the Interstate Battery Chevrolet is the leader of the TranSouth Financial 400. He started 14th, quickly moved up to 3rd position by the 65th lap, then dropped back to 6th on lap 98 and is in the lead as we now complete lap 114. And there is Earnhardt going to 2nd.
Gets by Harry Gant, and now Earnhardt stopped later than Gant and Dale Jarrett, so his car will be a little bit faster than those two cars right now.
Yeah, I think he'll run Dale Jarrett down. He's probably about 3 seconds behind Jarrett right now, but he should run him down because of those fresher tires. In fact, he's only 2.2 seconds behind Jarrett.
There are 28 cars on the lead lap now as a result of the pit stops that we have just seen. 28 cars on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is Joe Nemechek.
Nemechek just passed our leader, Dale Jarrett, a couple of laps ago to get back in the lead lap.
Yep, he came out of the pits with fresh tires and right around him, and so did Steve Grissom.
There's the interval between 2nd and 3rd, and the leader, Jarrett.
This is the 3rd race that Jarrett has led this year.
And Rusty Wallace is trying to make up on the racetrack what he lost in the pit area. Here he is just driving the wheels off the Miller Genuine Draft Ford. He had a bad pit stop. The gas can got locked and the left side lug nuts were taken off. He had to back the car up. They had to get the lug nuts tightened, and it cost him dearly on the track. Here's the Autolite field summary. Watch for your favorite driver and how they were running just a lap ago.
Rusty Wallace is a little over 13 seconds behind the leader, Dale Jarrett.
77 car of Sachs and the 16 of Ted Musgrave running very close together out there.
Did we say that Morgan Shepherd had gotten back in the
No, we
field?
didn't, but you may.
Forward? He is back in there now. He's 50 laps behind, but he's back out there.
There he is, shown in 40th spot. And Bobby Labonte remains in the garage area as they continue to work on that, and he's 54 laps down.
Greg Sachs hanging pretty good with Rusty Wallace, Ted Musgrave. Sachs had a great run over on the left.
Sachs is 33rd, a lap down. And the 16 of Ted Musgrave is 10th, so those cars are not battling for position. And Rick Mast comes in for another stop. This an unscheduled stop for Rick.
Yeah, he was just in a few laps ago.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was one of those early ones that made a pit stop, but this is probably earlier than he had planned to come back in.
Maybe those new tires felt so good he'd stop and get some more there.
I'm sure they did.
Here's Jerry right there.
And indeed, they are just doing that, Benny Parsons. Right side tires only for Rick Mast. Left side tires aren't showing much in the way of wear, but the right sides have been abused. We might mention the 3 car of Earnhardt when he made his last pit stop. His right front had begun to separate. We've seen him have right front trouble. The car number 4 have right front trouble. Remember, Dale Jarrett had a right rear go down as Earnhardt makes the pass and makes his move.
Yes, Dale Earnhardt is back in the lead as Dale Jarrett now goes to second. You'll recall that last year in this race, the winner was Dale Earnhardt. It was the first time that he had won in '93, and he won 6 during the season. A reminder that at 5 o'clock this afternoon, following our race, we will have a shop talk for you, and the featured driver is Dale Earnhardt. You'll want to watch at 5 o'clock Eastern Time this afternoon, right after our coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400, with currently being led by Earnhardt. Jarrett is second, followed by Harry Gant, Sterling Marlin, and Bill Elliott. We'll be right back. The winningest active driver at Darlington, Dale Earnhardt, is the leader of this race. He has 8 victories on this track, 5 in the spring race and 3 in the Southern 500. He leads over Dale Jarrett by a little less than 2 seconds as Harry Gant runs third, 3.7 seconds behind. Then Irvin at 6.75, and Bill Elliott is a little over 7 seconds behind in 5th position.
And right now, Earnhardt is there. We see John Andretti coming in the pits. He got in the fence up in between 3 and 4, just over right in front of Earnhardt. We see Earnhardt back there. And now Andretti goes up, gets up high, hits the fence, comes off the fence, gets it sideways, goes back up, hits the fence again.
But he kept it up there, and no other car was involved. And here's John Kernan in John's pit.
Well, Bob, they've already changed right side tires, left side going on. Usually, you see someone get up against the wall, you always have to look to see if they knock the rear end over. It looks like it's okay. They dropped the jack, and he's done his heads down pit road. It doesn't look like it was too badly damaged. Perhaps some of the sheet metal pushed in on the tires.
John Andretti comes back out as the leaders go by him. There is Earnhardt, who, by the way, has 8 laps fresher tires than Dale Jarrett does, and that's one of the reasons why he was able to catch Dale so quickly.
Well, we understand that Jimmy Maycar, who's the crew chief on Jarrett's Interstate Batteries car, had got a little concerned about the tires and had Jarrett to back off just a little bit also.
Here's the battle for 5th position. You just saw Jeff Burton being lapped by Earnhardt. He was 24, so there were 23 cars now on the lead lap. Terry Labonte started 24th, is already up to 6th position, and Gant may be coming in, we understand.
Well, he was one of the early ones that pitted the last time around on the green flag pit stops.
Labonte and Elliott going at it for 5th position. And it's slowing.
Oh, Elliott.
Yeah.
Car getting a little out of shape as he came off that second corner, and Terry Labonte goes right by.
Labonte goes to 5th. Elliott, the pole sitter, eligible for $76,000 in Utica bonus money, back to 6th.
Comes Rusty Wallace. Boy, is he making a move towards the front.
And Gant is coming in. John is there.
Well, as you said, Harry Gant was one of the earliest ones to come and pit. earlier. It also looks like he got into somebody in the left rear. Looks like possibly the sheet metal might be rubbing against that tire. The right side tire's going on. Swing around with the jack on the left side. After this set of stickered Goodyear Racing tires, they will have 4 sticker sets left here in the pit area. Harry sitting, waiting. 0.8 seconds. Harry Gans heads down toward turn 1. And also, let me update about John Andretti. They've checked it out. They did knock the toe out, so that's why he is back on pit road, and they are fixing that.
They've got the hood up on the Total Petroleum Chevy. John Andretti does sit there as they try to get the problem corrected as Harry Gant moves back out onto the racetrack and gathers up some speed.
And Rusty Wallace just passed Bill Elliott for the 5th spot. And there he's going by Terry Labonte for the 4th spot.
Man, he is moving, isn't he?
He is moving. And he's gaining on Earnhardt. Of course, there's some Bill Elliott's cars. He's looking at Terry Labonte.
I'm about to tell you how much he's gaining. Right now, he's 9 6/10 seconds behind Earnhardt. The last time we talked to him, he was 13 seconds behind.
So he gained 4 seconds on Earnhardt.
Here's the telemetry on Bill Elliott.
Coming off the 4th corner down the front straightaway, accelerating. 166, 71, 2, 5, 7, 176 miles an hour was the top speed I saw.
I believe you're right. Down to 123 before hitting the accelerator once again. And Wally Dallenbach is slow on the racetrack on the front stretch.
Sterling Marlin in the pits again, and Kodak Film Chevrolet. He was the first of the front runners to come in a little while ago, so he's back in again. Very funky down in that area.
Yes, we are, Ned. He pitted on lap 95. He said he was the very first one to come in, and we showed you how bad his right front tire looked at lap 95. Not taking any chances with the man who won the 1994 Daytona 500. All 4 tires, he is out and away less than 20 seconds, but they're not taking any chances at all. They roll that right front tire off, and unfortunately, it looks worse than the one that came off a minute ago. Take a look at the tire here as they roll it by. Absolute rubber completely. Look at the cords here. Inside of the tire. Actually, this is the outside edge of the tire, so maybe it's...
But 2 cars hit the wall or something, Jerry. You might check with the Miller crew.
Looks like, yeah, he's got some damage to the right front of that car. And Jeff Bodine has smoke coming from his car.
Bodine is slow down the back stretch, and Wallace is slow down the front stretch. And look at the damage on the right front of that car.
Man, Rusty Wallace, he just can't catch a break here in 1994. Car was running so good, but he's got some heavy damage to the right side of that car. Jerry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but man.
Here he comes, though. He's over down the backstretch.
Down the backstretch, trying to get to the pit.
Meanwhile, out on the racetrack, Ernie Irvan has passed for second. He's passed Dale Jarrett, so Ernie Irvan now sets his sights on the leader, Dale Earnhardt.
Look at these guys running to the garage area, trying to get back there so they can repair the car to get back on the racetrack as quickly as they can.
Rusty Wallace's 15th position, make that 11th position in the point standings going into this race, is not an indication of how well the car has run during the event. He has just had some bad luck, and he has suffered more of it here at Darlington as he has finally made his way onto pit road and now looks for the entrance to the garage area so that the team can go back and get this car back on the racetrack to pick up as many points as possible.
Boy, there were a lot of crews down on pit road and a lot of drivers on the racetrack that wish they would have thrown a caution there during that little skirmish, but apparently there was nothing on the racetrack, so there was no caution. Let's go to the pits and Jerry.
And as Rusty Wallace brings his car right by me, and what's left to the right side of his Miller Genuine Draft completely flattened, you're exactly right, Ned, on your comment. A number of crews would like to see a yellow flag. Foremost among that group, Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Maycar. They pitted on lap 97. Jimmy said they wanted to run 45 laps. They lost a right rear at 35 laps, had to come in early. They're going to try to make it to about lap 142, so they would love to see a yellow flag come out anytime in the next 4 or 5 laps. I understand the car number 21 also got a bit of concrete on the right side, and now Rusty Wallace's crew are going to try to rebuild the Miller Genuine Draft for Thunderbird.
That, of course, is the second time this afternoon that Morgan Shepherd, with whom we are riding right now with the roof cam, has come in contact with the wall. And he brings the car slowly to the apron of the racetrack.
Jeff Burton has been in the pits and Ray Best's Fords, and it won't crank.
All the photographers and the radio people are getting the comment from Rusty Wallace, and now Jerry Punch will move in and also get a word, Jerry.
Rusty, you look like you hit a ton over there. What happened?
Well, I went in turn 3 and the tire went down. I don't know if I ran over a piece of debris or what, but up to then, everything was perfect. Never had no problem whatsoever. And all of a sudden, bam, I couldn't turn it going into turn 3.
We saw some tires right front off of Sterling Marlin, right front off Dale Earnhardt. Do you have any indication that the tire is going to come apart?
Well, not really. I mean, I haven't had any problem all day long. Haven't had any problem all week long, and this just happened. So it could be a cut tire.
They're going to try to fix the right side of the Miller Genuine Draft Ford Thunderbird. It is completely flat. They will have to change the right front suspension. He was 11th in the points, not having such a great beginning in 1994. He will certainly drop back today.
Dale Jarrett is on pit road. So is Morgan Shepherd, and the 8 car of Jeff Burton is behind the wall. Let's watch Dale's pit stop here as he gave up 3rd position to come in for some fresh rubber.
Right sides go up. They're off. Jackman lets the car down. They're tightening the lug nuts. A chassis adjustment. Putting a little wedge in that car, about a half a round of wedge in the car. Tightening the left sides. A little trouble back on the left rear.
Yeah, that's a long pit stop.
Yep, 23.3. Jack goes down, the car rolls away. 23.3 second pit stop for Dale Jarrett.
And that's Rickman's in the Smoking Joe Ford.
And Morgan Shepherd goes back out onto the racetrack. Back with more from Darlington right after these messages.
Back in Darlington, scheduled pit stop taking place for the 7th time. Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt, 6th-time Winston Cup champion Earnhardt. Right side tires already on. Left side tires going on. 19.6 seconds. Here is Bill Elliott, our pole sitter, in as we are just 2 laps shy of the halfway mark. Elliott now, having gotten right side tires, now gets left side tires on the Budweiser Ford Thunderbird. He's leading the grill. He is down and away. All 4 tires on. Let's check in with John Turner.
Irvin had taken over the lead there. He has now come down pit road for a 4-tire change. They make sure they get all that rubber cleaned off the front grille. Right side on. They're also making chassis adjustment on the right rear. Left side going on. The team ready and drops the jack. 17.9 seconds. Best pit stop of the day, guys.
Excellent work for the Robert Yates team. 17.9 second pit stop for Ernie Irvin. Jeff Gordon is on pit road, so is Brett Bodine. Ken Schrader has all 4 tires changed. He's rolling again. Here is Jeff Gordon. Ted Musgrave comes in. There you see Brett Bodine pulling out. Now Jeff Gordon's work is completed. Gordon was running 6th. Brett was running 7th. And Musgrave was in the, I can't find him, 4th position. There he is. Mark Martin is the leader, and he should be coming in for a pit stop soon.
He's coming in right now, Bob, as you speak. He's slowing down, coming off from turn 4, and he'll be heading the Valvoline Ford right down in the area where Jerry Punch is.
Exactly, Ned. 55 miles per hour. Mark's already had a pretty good weekend. He won 2 races here at Darlington on yesterday with the International Race of Champions, and of course the Mark III Vans 200 Busch Grand National. Here he is, a young man from Arkansas. As they have a tremendous amount of rubber in the front grille, they wipe some of that rubber away, clean the windshield. They will change all 4 tires. Right side tires going on. Left side lug nuts coming off. They crank 1 round, 2 round, about a round and a half of wedge in the right rear. And watch them pump off the ground. They drop the jack. He is down and away, a little over 19 seconds.
19.1 second stop for Mark Martin, and he's back underway. Watch the jack man.
As Jeff Troxler comes around, 2, 3, and you see that the left side is much heavier than the right side. Actually, the left side is harder to get up than the right side because it weighs, with Mark Martin sitting in there, probably 300 pounds more than the right side.
Not that Mark Martin weighs 300 pounds, but they do run more left side weight.
Right.
What is it, 55-45 basically?
I think it's 56% on the left side is the maximum you can run.
We understand that Wally Dallenbach Jr. in the STP Pontiac has lost a fuel pump. Pitting on the backstretch. We saw him go slowly down the pit road there a little while ago.
Here's a race 4 position. Martin and teammate Musgrave.
12th and 13th.
Yep. Martin has those fresh tires. It's been a few laps since Musgrave was in.
Yeah, only a couple or maybe 3 laps he was in before Martin came in. But 2 or 3 laps can make a big difference.
Big difference.
On those tires.
Mark Martin, of course, the winner of the most recent race held here at Darlington, the Southern 500 last September. But twice in victory lane yesterday. Ooh, a little wiggle on the car there in 3.
Jimmy Hensley going out of the pits in the Fedtron Plus Ford number 55.
There's a race for second place. Harry again, who started just a little bit earlier than Ernie Irvin, is currently running in second place. Here comes Ernie. Tires has a few laps less on than Harry's. He should be able to pass him, and boy, was that easy to watch.
Man. Irvin is in second and third. Marlin running fourth, then Jarrett. Here is Dale Earnhardt putting a lap on Jeff Gordon. Gordon is 17th, so there are 16 cars that are now on the lead lap, and the 16th place car is Rick Mast, car 1. Earnhardt, Gant, Irvin, Marlin, and Jarrett, the top 5 at the end of 151 of 293 laps. ESPN Speed World is being brought to you by Allied Signals Pram Filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. Dale Earnhardt leads the TranSouth Financial 400. While we were away, the one car of Rick Mast lost a lap, then came in for a pit stop. There are currently 15 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, Rick Mast got off the sequence, Bob, with the others. He had to make a pit stop earlier. I think we saw that here, and so this was a scheduled pit stop for him this time, but he's off sequence from the others.
And Michael Waltrip is about to go 2 laps down. Here is Ward Burton passing Lake Speed, and that's Jimmy Spencer ahead of Ward.
Well, that's not the position. Ward Burton is a lot behind these cars.
Ward is 25th. A lap down, Lake Speed and Spencer are on the lead lap in 13th and 14th. Riding with Lake.
Down in turn 1. These guys, the crew is telling them they got to hustle because Earnhardt is not that far behind them.
And we are coming up on the race record. The average speed is 129.9, and the race record is 132.7. And by the way, the 22 car of Bobby Labonte has returned to competition.
Trying to keep that streak alive and running at the finish to hold his 20th race streak alive.
Jeff Gordon is trying to get his lap back from Dale Earnhardt. The front stretch, headed into turn 1. Trying desperately to.
He makes it.
Yeah, he does. Jeff Gordon is running 15th.
And it looks to me like that Ernie Irvin is gaining on Dale Earnhardt.
I think he is.
Irvin is in second place in the Haviland Texaco Ford. It looks like he's gaining a little bit on Earnhardt. And they stopped 1 lap apart. Earnhardt stopped 1 lap earlier. We'll go back, and there comes Ernie Irvin. So,
well, I'll get my unofficial watch running here. It's 3 and 5/10 seconds.
The interval between first and second, Earnhardt and Irvin. Earnhardt is turning laps of a little over 152 miles an hour as compared with a 165.5 full speed by Elliott. There is Irvin easily putting a lap on Michael Waltrip. Another lap. Michael is 2 laps down in 26th.
Jeff Gordon passed Earnhardt and pulled away to about a 15-20 car length advantage.
As we told you earlier, the 22 car of Bobby Labonte has returned to competition, but he finds himself 97 laps down.
There's Earnhardt, and there comes Ernie Irvin right behind Kyle Petty.
Our snapshot showing you that he started 11th has led 3 laps. He's currently second, and his lowest so far in the race was 11th on the first lap. The position that he started in.
Kyle Petty moves over and says, "You're a lot faster than I am, so go right ahead."
Let's see where Kyle is. He's 16th, a lap down. So can Ernie Irvan catch Dale Earnhardt? He appears to be closing in as we have completed now more than half of this 400-mile race here at Darlington, the first since 1972. Back after these messages. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Darlington. As Harry Gant on pit road. Remember, he'd gotten somewhat out of sequence with the other teams, and you may notice now, as the car is flashed by, Harry's engine is shut off. That means he cannot engage the clutch. A problem with the clutch pedal. So what they will have to do is try and help push start the car while it's in gear. They get the left sides on. The crew will start pushing Harry to pit road. 21.5 seconds as the engine does fire, and he heads down toward turn 1. Bob?
All right, thank you, John. Harry has been running up front in the top 5 most of the day.
And while we're way on break, Bob, Sterling Marlin made a pit stop. He was running in the top 5, but he had a right front tire flat on the Kodak film Chevrolet. He's behind Dale Earnhardt, coming up on him very quickly. We'll see him come into the picture there pretty soon because he's running a lot. There he is, the yellow car, Sterling Marlin, but he should be 2 laps behind. He was about,
That's right.
Yeah, he is 2 laps behind, so he's coming up to get one of those back.
Showing in 25th position, Sterling Marlin.
Les Richter with NASCAR just came into the booth just a second ago and told me that they have released it. Look, the tail fiber still hanging on that 40 car.
Yep.
But they have released the teams to be able to change brands of tires. You know, Goodyear came with the tires that they were supposed to come with, but the teams are using them so fast they're out of tires. And Rick Masters down there right now, he has 1 set of tires left. So
let's hear from Jerry Punch with more on this, how some of the other teams are coming along as far as tires are concerned.
Well, Bob, just take a look behind me. This area here, the Hoosier compound, has become the busiest place at Darlington Raceway. Since the announcement a moment ago, I talked to Bill Elliott's team, Mike Beam. They had 9 sets of tires to begin the day's race. They have just 3 sets left, and we are just past the halfway point. Here is Harry Gant's crew. The caution has come on the racetrack for debris on the racetrack. The yellow flag waves once again. But take a look behind me. Suddenly, these guys are just working as fast as they can. They are unloading tires from the semi to the right here as fast as the guy can throw them on to the pavement so they can mount these tires and get them around the racetrack to the other crews.
Well, of course, one of the stipulations is that they have to come here with enough tires to supply all the teams, so they have quite a few in that truck from which they're getting them. And the yellow is out, as you indicated, Jerry, because of debris on the racetrack. It comes on lap 171, and the leader of the race, Dale Earnhardt, now is slowed down behind the pace car. The pits are open, and you can see Earnhardt and others coming and peeling off of the racetrack and onto pit road. Jeff Gordon, by the way, picked up his lap.
Yeah, we saw him pass Dale Earnhardt and get back on the lead lap, so this is a break for him.
Here's Jerry to call the pit stops as he is in Ernie Irvan's.
We are about the midpoint of pit road because Earnhardt pitting down turn corner 1 of the car number 3. Here's Ernie Irvan's car number 28 and Dale Jarrett in the car number 18 pitting up further toward turn 4. We would expect to see all 4 tires change. 28, 18, and 3, as you said before. 28, top of your screen, that's the Ford Thunderbird, and 18 and 3 on the 28. He is down and away, left side on Earnhardt. 20.2 on 28. 19.3 on Dale Jarrett, and 19.6 on Dale Earnhardt. Pretty good pit work under caution here as they all head back to turn 1.
Indeed, and according to our calculations, Dale Jarrett's crew just a tick of the watch faster on that particular set of pit stops than the others. Work completed here on the main straightaway as now the activity picks up on the backstretch pits. We'll take another break and be back in just a moment to Darlington. 172 of 293 laps completed here. The top 10, it's Earnhardt, Ernie Irvan, Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, and Ted Musgrave. 6 through 10, Ken Schrader, pole sitter Bill Elliott, Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, and Brett Bodine. We remind you that in just about 2 hours from now at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, coming up right after our coverage for the TranSouth Financial 500, 400, it is Shop Talk. And the featured driver this week is Dale Earnhardt. Don't miss it at 5 o'clock right after our coverage of this event, a special 1-hour Shop Talk featuring Dale. And then 2 weeks from today, April 10th at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, live coverage from Bristol, Tennessee of the Winston Cup race there. And we'll be right back. Set to go back to green flag racing here at Darlington. The leader of the event is Dale Earnhardt. The car in front of him is Sterling Marlin. He is at the tail end of the lead lap. The crowd looks on. It's a tremendous crowd that is gathered here this Sunday afternoon in South Carolina as we go back to racing on lap 176.
There's Todd Bodine in the car number 75, racing to get one of his laps back as well. He is currently being shown. Well, there he is in 28th position. He's 3 laps down. And Earnhardt goes by Sterling. Sterling stayed out there, didn't come in. He has several laps on those tires that he has on there. He was hoping that there might be a caution.
Also gets and now here he is. Continue to be impressed with the run that Dale Jarrett is having here this afternoon. He's up to 3rd again, and a big pack of cars behind him as the scramble for position is on. Mark Martin goes to the inside of Sterling Marlin. Martin is 4th.
Got caught up in some of the lap traffic. There was the battle for 5th between Ken Schrader, and he just got around Ted Musgrave, who was running 5th, and they made a little contact.
Riding with Derek Cope now in the Fingerhut car, and the tribute to Neil Bonnet is there, the number 51 on the right side of the dash.
It was certainly miss Neil.
How many days going by we don't think about that situation, I tell you. Neil Bonnet, what he meant to the sport.
Here is Irvin challenging Earnhardt for the lead now off of turn 4. This is the 22nd race here at Darlington that Earnhardt has led, and he has led over 2,100 laps of competition. But he right now is looking at a challenge from Ernie Irvin. Look at the last lap speed, 160 after the new tires, and Irvin's got the lead.
Now watch Earnhardt try to dip under. Nope, couldn't do it that time. You knew he was going to do that too, or try it, didn't you?
Well, you would think he would try it, yeah. Jarrett running real close in 3rd. Look
wow.
at this mess.
Folks, there's going to be a wreck.
Oh,
that's a wreck looking for a place to have.
That's true. I don't see how in the world they got through there.
Hud Strickland and Jeff Gordon and Steve Grissom and others. Lots of others.
Man.
Rick Mast, I believe, has just blown the Gold Classic Ford number 21. He slowed dramatically going into turn 3 and pulled down and headed to the pit area.
That gang of cars still together as Jeff Gordon dips down the inside of Steve Grissom. Little contact there between those two cars.
Blake Speed had contact with Fred Bodine, it looked like. Strickland moving to the inside of Blake.
And Jeff Gordon had to get out of the throttle and lost his momentum, and now he's being challenged by, is that Ward Burton?
Yep, I think so.
Yep, it's Ward down on the inside. Jimmy Hensley coming up there behind him. Car 55. Here's another battle.
Elliott, Marlin, Labonte. Rudd is in that group, so is Cope and Musgrave.
Of course, Cope and Marlin are left down.
Oh, a big puff of smoke here on the main straightaway.
John Andretti blue going down the front straightaway.
Caution is out.
Yes.
Well, the owners love to see these caution. I mean, the drivers love to see the caution flags because they can stop getting more tires. And look at Todd Bodine. He got that lap back. But the owners hate it because it's $1,200 every time the caution flag comes in.
And now, while we have an opportunity, let's look at our Busch race recap. Dale Earnhardt has led 81 of the first 178 laps, 21 lead changes among 9 cars, 13 cars remain on the lead lap, 4 caution periods, 21 laps, and the average speed almost 128 miles an hour. Those that have led include Earnhardt, who has led the most at 81. Also Wallace, who's out of the race. Marlin, Jarrett, Elliott, and Marcus. Dave Marcus led 4 laps. Each of these drivers picking up 5 bonus points. And Sachs, Irvin, and Martin have also been leaders. Out of the race, only 2 cars officially, Wally Dallenbach and Jeff Bodine.
At the same time, Rusty Wallace hit the wall up there. Jeff Bodine had his problem, so... And all the leaders come in the pits. Ernie Irvin comes to a stop. We see Schrader already stopped. Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin's in. All the leaders are in on the front straightaway.
Jeff Gordon among the last to pull in for service. Ernie Irvin's crew going to work on the Haviland Ford. Here's Jerry Bunch.
And if you watch him complete the tire change here on Ernie Irvin's car, they made another chassis adjustment in the left rear of that car. Now remember that tire recovery plan we showed you a little while earlier in Ernie Irvin pit? That may be the key factor in being able to keep that car on Goodyear tires. If they scramble back toward turn 1, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, and Brett Bodine all go back to turn 1 after changing all 4 tires.
Dale Jarrett was a big leader, big loser there in those pit stops. It just took about 26 seconds. And we mentioned that Rick Mast had slowed, took his car into the garage. He's with John Kerner.
Well, Rick has just climbed from the Skull Classic Ford. Rick, an engine problem?
Yeah, something broke under the hood in the drivetrain. I'm not sure, transmission, motor, or in. It's something broke big time. I don't know. But the big thing today is tires. You know, we had our tire trouble early. And I definitely had a top 10 car, and we got down, kept having tire trouble. We kind of thought maybe we had it worked out. Maybe some of the other guys that started having trouble towards the end, we'd make some of the ground back up, but it wasn't to be. We'll get them at Bristol in a couple weeks.
Well, that's Rick Mast, still able to smile. Let's go back out to pit road and Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, remember a little bit ago we showed you how busy it was over in the Hoosier compound. Well, take a look behind me here in the Goodyear compound. All these guys that are hard-working dudes that work every week mounting all these tires. Nothing to do here, but there's a reason for that. You see, Goodyear has a minimum that NASCAR gives them to bring to the track. That's 800 tires, left side and right side. They met that minimum and then some, but they had 36 of the 41 starters in today's race on their tires. So all their tires were sold by 11 o'clock this morning. These guys can sit in here with a big screen television and watch the ESPN race. They do have some tires here. Let me show you. There's these big semis here, 3 of them parked here that came full of tires. There's a few tires in here, but they're all left side tires. And the key is the teams need right side tires. If you have to change right side tires or change compounds or change brands, you have to change all 4 to the Hoosier. So obviously a very lonely spot here right now in the Goodyear compound.
Looks like all those guys there in that compound need are a couple of hamburgers and some hot dogs, Benny.
Sounds good to me.
Top 10 at the end of 184 laps. Ernie Irvin, Dale Earnhardt, Ken Schrader, Mark Martin, and Bill Elliott. In the second 5, it is Gordon, Jarrett, Bodine, Rudd, and Spencer. We welcome you back to Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. As you can see, the field is going down the backstretch in front of the brand new Tyler Tower, the double-deck grandstand on the backstretch. It is with heavy hearts that we tell you that the man for whom that was named, Red Tyler, who is shown on the right with the current track president Jim Hunter on the left, passed away a week ago today. He was the president of this racetrack from 1983 until he retired in 1989. Not only was he a great man as far as racing and Darlington Raceway is concerned, but he was a great contributor to society here in South Carolina, receiving its highest honor by the governor, the Order of the Palmetto. We'll miss Red Tyler.
Tribute to Red Tyler, because everyone that's worked on it has seen it. Tells me it's world class, just like Red Tyler.
And many other changes are going on here in Darlington to move from what the racetrack calls a dinosaur facility to a state-of-the-art facility. In the coming years, when we come back here to Darlington, we're going to see many, many more changes, all in the interest of making this a better place to come and enjoy a great NASCAR Winston Cup race.
And we've got a good one going on right now. Of course, Ernie Irvin is the leader. Dale Earnhardt is second. Ken Schrader had a great pit stop during that caution. Came out in third place.
Just a little more than 100 laps to go in this event. As you see an Autolite field summary showing you where everybody is and showing you those that have dropped out of competition. It is Ernie Irvin looking for his third straight NASCAR Winston Cup win here in the '94 season as he threatens to run away with things this year. And John Kernan is with another John Andretti. Having microphone problems.
John Kernan is having microphone problems. John Andretti looked like he was anxious to talk to John
He was
Kernan.
ready to go.
Yes. Look at Schrader close up on the back bumper of Earnhardt.
How about that? He's in third.
Yes.
Irvin, Earnhardt, and Schrader are the top three, and look at Ken.
On the tire swap situation, we understand that Todd Bodine has gotten 4 sets of tires from his brother Jeff's car. Jeff, of course,
running the Hoosier car.
Yeah, running Hoosier. He's out of the race now, and so Todd has some extra tires there.
He's going to have to switch from Goodyear to the Hoosier.
Yeah, right. So Jeff Bodine was running Hoosier.
There we see the 77 car, Greg Sachs, being overtaken by Ernie Irvin.
That's one of the cars that started on Hoosier, so Greg Sachs car.
And Jerry, what do we look forward to as far as pit stops in the coming laps?
Bob, most of the top teams, and I'm referring primarily to the Ernie Irvin team where I'm standing right now, have said that they know they can run about 38 laps without seeing the right side tires come apart. So they figure their window is they'll make 3 more stops at 35 lap intervals, and they have enough tires, thanks primarily to the Wood brothers. So the last time the Wood brothers won here was 1981, the Southern 500 with the late Neil Bonnet. But if the car number 28 goes to victory lane, the Wood brothers will have a share in that victory. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you very much. And now with less than 100 laps to go in this event, it remains Irvin, Earnhardt, and Schrader.
One of the fastest cars on the racetrack is Harry Ginn. He's just picking them off. He's a lap down, but he's coming up on Bill Elliott there. He's going towards the front. He might be running faster than the leader, but he's a lap down.
Yes, he is.
14th position, 13 cars in the lead lap. Harry is the first one of those cars that's a lap down.
Elliott is 5th.
Dale Jarrett has gotten around Jeff Gordon, moved into 6th position. Jarrett had a slow pit stop, and somebody just dropped off the pace. It's Brett Bodine. Dropped off dramatically as he came off of turn 2. He's down on the inside now, headed, it looks like, towards the pit area in the Quaker State Ford.
He was running in 8th position.
So he was one of those 13 cars that was on the lead lap.
And as he was doing that, the number 9 car also, and Terry Labonte just blew going down the front straightaway. Going in turn 1, I don't know if he's going to be able to, yes, he slowly went back up on the racetrack, but he's able to stop it. Maybe that's a tire that let go.
Well, something went wrong. Both of those cars that we saw just within a lap here were on the lead lap, so that's, I believe it might have been a tire. Look at the pieces coming off of it there, Benny.
Jerry, what's the story on Brett?
Well, Kenny Bernstein and company are headed to the garage area, and they will not be coming out. Unfortunately, Kenny just walked by and said, "Doc, we just broke an engine." Some kind of luck, huh? So they head back to the garage area, and we'll call it a day.
And he lost an engine on Thursday during practice. Ran a half a lap, lost an engine. Did not get any practice before his qualifying run.
And Terry Labonte also has the hood up on his car, and they're taking a look at it. It looked pretty bad, though, as he came down the straightaway here.
Yeah, it must have been more than tires, but there were some pieces flying off of it as he came into the pits there, so we didn't know what.
And the 75 car is back in the pits as well. Just Todd Bodine, and the hood goes up on that car.
Boy, all of a sudden, we're seeing a lot of cars have trouble here.
Well, that appears to be overheating. They're putting water in the radiator, and you can see the guy scraping the tire residue from the front of the car.
And as we said earlier, that's one of the problems here at the Darlington Raceway.
And the 4 car is off the pace. Sterling Marlin, the Daytona 500 winner, the Kodak Film Chevrolet, he's headed for pit road.
He was running 16th a lap down, but he drops to the apron of the track over between turns 3 and 4, and the Kodak Film crew begins the run to the garage area.
With a water can in hand.
I don't know where he's going. Sterling looks like, don't see any smoke from the car.
No. Everything looks, the tires seem to be up.
And he's going to his pit. Jerry Punch, here he comes.
What's the deal?
Well, we just got down here, Benny. We're trying to catch our breath. Tim Morgan just told me the car is running very, very hot. We're going to change tires, but more importantly, Tony Glover is going to take the hood pins off, raise the hood, and they're going to have to put some water in it to try to get some of the debris out of the radiator. Apparently, he's also going to be penalized for too fast down pit road. Jack Whittemore, the NASCAR official, stands right in front of the car, and if that is the case, and they put now the water hose, it's probably going to be a moot point. He's going to lose plenty of valuable time under the green, but he will be held 15 seconds whenever he is ready to leave. Back upstairs.
And while we were watching this, Dale Earnhardt has taken the lead. Just went by Ernie Irvin up at 3 and 4, and Earnhardt back in the lead.
The race-long battle between Ernie and Dale continues with Earnhardt back on top.
And Mark Martin has moved around Kenny Schrader and has moved into third.
And here is how Earnhardt got the lead from Ernie.
Ernie goes in the corner, and Earnhardt just drives by and takes the lead away. And look how he's stretching out. Has Ernie got a problem? I mean, he's stretching out 20 car lengths in one lap.
Yep.
And right there, Harry Gant just went around Mark Martin. He still is the fastest car on the racetrack. He was way behind those guys and has run them down and passed them. Now, he's been coming in earlier for tires than some of the others, but he has a fast race car.
And his 12th, the lap down. Here's Ricky Rudd along with Ted Musgrave.
Mike Wallace.
There's Kyle Petty.
Ricky Rudd is in 11th place, the last car on the lead lap.
In the Tide Ford.
And Darrell Waltrip's going to the pits on the back straightaway.
Well, we have had 22 lead changes now, and that is a record for 400 miles here at Darlington. It's been a very competitive race and a very unpredictable race. Lake Speed going to the inside of Hensley.
That's 15 and 16 are racing for the 9th spot.
Well, Lake Speed starting 35th, now up to 9th place, having a good run here today.
And then Rudd, of course, also in the battle for position. So those three cars right there on the same lap, the lead lap, and battling for position.
9th, 10th, and 11th.
And Jerry Punch has more on Ernie Irvin's situation.
Well, we told you earlier that these guys had to be very careful with using their car and the tires up. They can only go about 35 laps. A few laps ago, Larry McReynolds apparently reminded Ernie Irvin that you have to get at least 35 laps out of these tires if we're to make it to the finish on our Goodyear tires. So that's what they're doing, trying to make sure they take care of the rubber on the race car.
And Greg Sachs is slow down the straightaway, and rubber appears to be coming from that car. Looks like he may have had contact with the wall.
It looks like he might have banged the right side of that car. Let's see.
There he is up in turn 4.
Yeah, he is up against the wall. Bill Elliott and Dale Jarrett had just gotten around him going into turn 3. And that happened coming off of turn 4.
And here it is from another angle.
There we see him go in the corner and goes up and bam on the side of in the wall. And he took that car directly to the back pits.
Jerry Punch has more. Jerry?
Apparently, Greg Sachs had no brakes, and that's the reason the car bounced off the wall. We're not really sure whether the brake situation was going down as he tried to go in the corner, but as you just saw a moment ago, the car glances off the outside wall up in turn 4. What a tough break after they had a great run at Atlanta Motor Speedway, losing a lap in the pits and getting a very impressive 7th place finish. We'll have more from Darlington, South Carolina after this. Stay with us.
Dale Earnhardt is the leader of the TranSouth Financial 400 with 209 laps completed. NASCAR Winston Cup racing here at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. Well, we think we have John Kernan's microphone problems fixed. John Andretti is still standing by.
That's right, Bob. We've managed to talk John Andretti to stand by. They're loading up his car on the trailer. And, John, a problem in the engine compartment?
Well, you know, we just had a couple little problems, and we were out. We got off on the tire changes, and I got up and got a Darlington stripe, and then we had to fix the car because of the tow, and then the motor blew up. But I'd like to thank Total for the help on this race, and Financial World for the help all season, and all the other people that have helped us. It's Hagen Racing Team Jet. We're still going to be around, and got a new sponsor for the next race, so we'll be all right.
How about that first Darlington stripe? How was that experience?
It's never a good experience because it means you hit the wall, and I don't like to get up there and do that, but we can fix it, and we'll be back. And like I said, you know, we're not dead yet. We're going to keep coming back.
I'll tell you what, there are a lot of great race car drivers who've gotten more than one Darlington stripe in their career.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get any more. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And Bob, the problem that we had down here, his engine expired. Well, my transmitter expired. We had to have a pit stop and change 4 batteries.
Okay. You're back in the running, though. That's good. There's a battle for position. That's Spencer and Musgrave.
Great spot. And, you know, Ted Musgrave's teammate, Mark Martin, might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
He's running in third spot. Yeah.
Third spot.
And as you saw while we were talking to John Andretti, Rusty Wallace rolled back out onto the racetrack with a little bit of sheet metal damage.
About 74 laps down. And they also, I don't know if we mentioned that Sterling Marlin has taken the Kodak Film Chevrolet into the garage area.
It's a good battle between these two. Musgrave picks up the position from Jimmy.
And here's Lake Speed and Ricky Rudd. They're right in there battling for position as well.
The only car not in the battle for position here is Ward Burton, the 31 Hardee's car.
Looks like he's the fastest of the ball.
Yeah, right. He ought to be racing for position.
He's 14th a lap down as we ride with Lake Speed. Bright sunshine, where they were thinking rain was going to come this afternoon, but it isn't looking very rainy right now.
Looking beautiful right now.
Here's a Pram Field summary.
See Jeff Ford, Spencer, Musgrave, Speed, all these cars in the lead lap along with Ricky Rudd.
And there they are, racing for position.
Lots of cars are 1 lap down. And you get back there at 21st place to Michael Waltrip. He's 2 laps down. He and Mike Wallace.
Steve Grissom gets by Spencer.
Bobby Labonte is 121 laps down, but not out of the race yet.
Mark Martin has caught up to Ernie Irvin. About ready to put a move on him for 2nd place. As Benny mentioned a moment ago, Martin, Valvoline Ford, might be the fastest car on the track. There's Bobby Labonte, mentioned him. And he's still out there rolling.
Now Martin will set up Ernie and take 2nd position in turn 2.
Boy, he just motored around. And Ernie got up a little bit high there, couldn't get traction off of the turn. Going for his 3rd win this weekend. Martin got 2 victories yesterday. I'll tell you, 1 victory a year, 1 victory a career on this racetrack is good. And Benny and I have 1 each year, and we're proud of it. And here that man won 2 races in 1 day.
He is going for the ultimate trifecta, that's for sure. Hud Strickland just had the Smoking Joe car in the pit area. There's Harry Gant. We see Mark Martin got by Harry and kind of pulled away from him. So.
Yeah, Harry, I think, really used his tires up. He was fast there for a while and went up through there. He might be headed for the pits. He moves over and lets Ken Schrader go by. Let's see if Harry's going to come in. But he might be in that window that Jerry Punch was talking about there a little bit earlier. He needs to run another 5 or 6 laps, and then he could split 70 laps, and that would work out good for him. So that's probably what he's going to do, is ride it out until he gets down to about 70 or 72 laps.
Lake Speed's car, the Ford Quality Care automobile. 31 car going by the 12. And here comes Lake Speed trying to get up alongside. Look at Lake Speed. Started 35th.
Yeah.
And he's up to 9th spot.
Lap 171, he was 12th, then moved up to 11th, and is currently in 9th position. And he's battling Musgrave for that position.
And Lake Speed is one of those drivers who has a victory here at Darlington.
Look at Ward Burton from 38th to 14th.
Ward's best run of the year.
Yeah. And Ted Musgrave started 20th.
As we watch this, Dave Marcus goes in the pits on the back straightaway. Musgrave's car losing the handle here in the last few laps. Rudd's going to give back another spot.
Yep. So that means Rudd goes to 9th.
I'll tell you what, the 28 is really moving. Ernie Irvin is losing a lot of ground to the 3 car and the 6 car.
Time for tire change from the 28 car, Ernie Irvin. Here comes Earnhardt, the leader. He's in.
Right now, 28 car coming in right behind him. And so is Jeff Gordon. Jerry Punch, they're coming at you.
And this is scheduled stop. Remember, we told you they could run through 35 and 38 laps. 38 was the maximum. Well, this is 38 laps exactly from the last time Ernie Irvin pitted. 3 on the top, 28 on the bottom. Chevrolet top, Ford on bottom. We'd expect to see them change all 4 tires. At least they hope they change all 4. They had the left side lug nuts off on Ernie Irvin's 28 Haviland Ford Thunderbird. Likewise, the car number 3 getting its service further down pit road. Jack problem on the 28, and that has caused some problems. Now they wait on the jack to come around to the left side. Valuable time being lost. Left front tire going on. Joey Knuckles puts the lug nuts on. Left rear on. They pull the jack. And now they're holding Ernie Irvin in the pit for 15 seconds. They are going to hold him here in the pit. A NASCAR, how they let it go, and he is down and away. Dale Jarrett is in the Interstate Battery Chevrolet, and they will change all 4 tires. A major chassis adjustment in the right side of Dale Jarrett's car. They had some bite in the car. The car was slipping and sliding. Good pit stop for Jimmy Medcar Company. Less than 19 seconds for the Interstate Battery Chevrolet.
Bill Elliott was also in the Budweiser Ford.
We've been talking about how good the Miller Genuine Draft and the Haviland Ford crews have been, but I'll tell you, the Dale Jarrett's crew has been very efficient today on pit road.
They've had some good stops. They had that one stop that was a little bit longer. It had a little bit of a problem on the left side, but basically they've had very good pit stops.
And for Ernie Irvin, when it rains, it pours. He had a terrible pit stop, and then NASCAR held him for 15 seconds. So he's almost 3/4 of a lap down. There we'll see Rusty Wallace going by Mark Martin. I guess Mark Martin's our leader, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But he needs a pit stop. Bobby Hamilton is coming in, and he's coming in, but he may have something more serious than that. He may have blown up.
Through a tire split on that car.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Kendall All, Pontiac.
So we got 69 laps to go, and pit stops being made here at the TranSouth Financial 400 in Darlington. We'll be right back. Mark Martin had the lead. He gave it up to come in for a 19.7-second pit stop, giving the lead to Ken Schrader. And now Schrader comes in. That's going to pit Dale Earnhardt back in the lead. Here's John.
Bob, it'll be a 4-tire change for Kenny Schrader. They had stayed out a little bit longer than the other teams since to pick up the 5 bonus points. Right side work already completed. Left side tires going on. They've been having some great pit stops today. Each tire, well, they've got 5 tires as he pulls down and heads down pit road. 19.2 seconds. They picked up the tires from the 5 team when they went out. Okay. And now let's go down pit road to Dr. Jerry Punch. And the car number 28, remember the problem? They were being held 15 seconds in the pits. Well, apparently that was because they had 8 men over the wall. 8 men over the wall. And we might also mention that they are going to penalize, apparently, the car number 25 for being too fast on pit road. Kenny Schrader is going to have to come back in for a stop-and-go penalty. What a tough break for a young man who has driven his heart out to get a good top 5 finish.
And Jerry, as long as he stayed out there on those old tires and as fast as Dale Earnhardt and them were running on the new tires, he'll be lucky to come in and take that penalty and stay on the lead lap.
He was just black flagged. We'll see if he does come in next time around. There's the leader of the race, Dale Earnhardt, with 64 laps to go. Last year, Earnhardt won this race and went on to win the championship. In 7 of the last 9 years, the winner of this race has finished either first or second in the year in points. Here, Schrader heeding the black flag and coming in for his stop-and-go penalty for being too fast, exceeding the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit down pit road.
Oh, boy, that's a tough break. Maybe gained him half a second. 20, probably. Now, let's see. Earnhardt, where he is, he's coming off the turn 4. In fact, he's going to lap him.
Yep.
Right there he is, going into turn 1. You see Earnhardt on the outside. You saw Schrader down on the inside coming out of the pit. So Ken Schrader will go a lap down.
He will go to 12th position, I believe.
Bill Elliott's now running second after that round of pit stops. Dale Jarrett is third. And in fourth place is Jeff Gordon. Mark Martin is in fifth place.
There's the race for position. Or second. There's some traffic right in front of them.
Bobby Hamilton just came out of the pit with new tires there not long ago. Dave Marcus. Dave has a sponsorship on that car that he's hoping is going to work for him in the future.
Yeah, it's Terramite, which is a construction equipment company in Charleston, West Virginia, giving him some money for the weekend and thinking about possibly joining the team on a more regular basis.
Well, I hope that works out for Dave. I'll tell you, he's been a real supporter of NASCAR Winston Cup racing for many, many years and deserves every break he can get.
And if you wonder why Mark Martin is not racing for second place, as we watch Harry Gant trying to get by Earnhardt, get one of his laps back. Harry is one lap down, so he's trying to get by Earnhardt.
So that put him back in the lead lap, right?
Yes, it will.
Yeah, it will.
At one time, Harry was 2 laps down.
Yep, now he's in the lead lap.
Okay, now Earnhardt's going to try to get right back under. No, he's going to back off. He's going to let it go. He just wanted to aggravate him a little bit.
That's exactly what that was, man. Just
yeah.
By the way, Earnhardt has now led 100 of the first 233 laps, and he will pick up the 5 extra bonus points for leading the most laps. And Musgrave is in.
The family channel car number 16. He was running in the 8th position. And we saw Kenny Schrader coming up on Earnhardt. Here's Dale Jarrett trying to take over second position from Bill Elliott. Looks like he's got it. Ooh, he goes high. Elliott tried to get back under, but he couldn't quite do it. But anyway, Ken Schrader, with those new tires, is just did get around Dale Earnhardt, so he has gotten himself back in the lead lap. Bill Elliott sawing the wheel a little bit on that Budweiser Ford.
yes, he is. Remember Mark Martin at the top of the show. That's how easy he was with the steering wheel. Now we see Jeff Gordon very slow. John Kernan, has Gordon got a problem?
Yeah, I just got the signal from one of the crewmen. They think it may be terminal. He had an overheating problem. Earlier in the race, he'd gotten into somebody and closed off some of the ductwork, so he wasn't getting a lot of air into the radiator. They've tried to fix that on the pit stops, but without a lot of caution, they haven't really had a chance to do that. So he's having an overheating problem. As he came by the pits, or came down the front stretch last time by, you could see steam coming out from the exhaust pipe.
Tough break for Jeff Gordon, who was running in the 4th position.
Yeah, we noticed that last time he was in for a pit stop. There was some smoke that would not necessarily come out of the exhaust pipe doing so.
And that's the overflow we see there.
Yeah, major problem here at Darlington. Overheating. You could think on a super speedway, all that air, they can get in them, that would not be a problem. But that rubber picks up and goes in the grill. And look, folks, this is not a new problem here at Darlington. I won the 1965-75 vineyard. By 14 laps, I might add. But you know that everybody had the problem. And it was overheating problem. That was 25, almost 30 years ago. Had problems back then. Still the same problem today.
Yep. Can't really explain that. It's because the racing surface is so abrasive. There are plans, however, to repave this track, and that should eliminate the problem.
It'll help it some.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's their leader, Dale Earnhardt. And I tell you what, he's losing ground to the second place car off Dale Jarrett. Here comes Dale Jarrett, Bill Elliott. There's 4-second intervals between first and second. We'll keep track of this and just see what happens in a few laps.
And they're taking Jeff Gordon's car behind the wall as we show you this interval between first and second. Dale Jarrett closing in on Dale Earnhardt. Bob Jenkins Hopkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina for the TranSouth Financial 400, which has 52 laps to go and is currently being led by Dale Earnhardt. Just ahead of him is Harry Gant, who is on the lead lap in 10th position.
Now Earnhardt's closing back in on Gant a little bit. Harry is awfully fast on new tires. He can run about 20-25 laps real strong. Then it starts to give away on him a little bit.
Here's the interval leaderboard showing you that Ricky Rudd, who is in 5th position, is 13 seconds back. We'll also tell you that Ken Schrader, who lost a lap when he came in for that stop-and-go penalty, has since gotten back on the lead lap and is now 9th.
And we see that Earnhardt is pulling away from Dale Jarrett right now. It's 4 seconds a moment ago. Now it's 4.6 seconds.
And John Kernan is with Jeff Gordon.
Well, Jeff Gordon has pulled his Chevrolet into the garage area, done for the day. A problem of overheating. We've mentioned this before about the tire, the rubber that gets built up on the grill, but you also had some of your ductwork knocked back in an incident earlier in the day.
Well, you know, we thought we learned the last time we were here, and we had an overheating problem, and you know, we put a better grill screen in it to prevent that, but it was pretty hot all day long. It ran hot, and I ran something. There's a piece of debris on the racetrack, and I drove right into it. We thought that might help it, but I guess it hurt it, and you know, it ran like 250 for a long time, so my hat's still off to the guys back to Hendrick Motorsports engine shop. I mean, they did a good job, just didn't quite make it all the way to the end.
Well, Jeff Gordon still with a smile on his face. He can do that. He was running 4th today. And now let's go out to pit road, Dr. Jerry Punch.
You gotta love it when a plan comes together for Dale Earnhardt. He pitted on lap 221. His car runs comfortably, not question the term comfortably, for 36 laps only on these tires. Well, 221 was when he pitted. 293 is into the race. That is 72 laps. Half of that would be 36 laps. He will pit on lap 257 for his final scheduled pit stop and hopes to be able to nurse that car to victory lane 36 laps later.
And that is 11 laps from right now. He comes down and completes lap 246.
And what happened to Harry Gant? Harry Gant slowly.
I think he just moved over and let Dale Earnhardt go by. As we mentioned a moment ago, Harry's car is giving up after he runs hard for about 25 or 30 laps. And so he saw Earnhardt coming up on him.
They told
Ricky Rudd in the Tide Ford.
Running in 5th place. Having himself a good run here today.
He is running in 5th position, and if he stays there, he'll give himself the first top 5 finish because he's the car owner.
Hey, how about that?
Now dropping back to the 27 car of Jimmy Spencer. He is running in 8th. There he is. The McDonald's Ford. Good day for Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, and he's pitting on the back stretch, and of course, green flag pit stops, that doesn't make any difference. But there were some early cautions, and he's hung right in there, stayed in the lead lap, and here's his run.
As you can see, his starting position matches the number on the car, 27.
See Kenny Schrader right behind Jimmy Spencer, and this will be for position. If Schrader can catch Jimmy and get by him, that will be for the 8th spot. There comes Schrader.
So both the Junior Johnson's cars in the top 10. Bill Elliott's currently running 3rd in the Budweiser Ford. Jimmy Spencer running in the 8th position.
Schrader's having as good a day as he has had in many races.
Yeah, that car has been fast. Had it not been for that penalty, he would be.
He's now moved up to 8th. Spencer back to 9th.
But they're only a half a straightaway ahead of Dale Earnhardt. He's coming up. Don't know, he might be gaining on Spencer. He's not gaining on Schrader.
And we see our leader. And Ned, you're exactly right. Harry Gant just moved over to let Dale Earnhardt go a moment ago. He is back up to speed.
Here's a Napa field summary. We show you the entire rundown, not how they were running 5 or 6 or 7 laps ago, but just 1 lap ago. 9 cars on the lead lap.
And as we watch this, Dick Trickle is on the back pits, the active trucking automobile.
The Burton brothers are 21st and 22nd.
Ever see Dick Triple? He's 26 laps down, so he's been back there several times today, hasn't he?
That's right. Let's go around Greg Sachs down on the inside there.
Morgan Shepherd is still running despite having encountered the wall a couple of times today. Rusty Wallace is still out there 75 laps behind, and so is Bobby Labonte, who's 128 laps behind. So Dale Earnhardt continues to set the pace here as the laps are winding down. Now 41 to go as he crosses the stripe. Pit stops will be necessary before this race is over. Back after this. Leads the TranSouth Financial 400. As a matter of fact, he has led 130 of the first 255 laps.
He'll have pit stops coming up here very shortly. Mark Martin has been running through the field. He just passed Dale Jarrett for second place here a little bit ago, and Ernie Irvin making what should be his final pit stop right now. We'll go green the rest of the way.
He was running in ninth spot. And let's go to Jerry Punch for the call of, as you indicated, in his final pit stop, hopefully.
Well, Bob, it should be. They're going to take a half a round of 5 out. They put about 2 rounds in last time they stopped the cars. It's a little bit too out of kilter. They're going to change all 4 tires. They scrubbed that front grill section. And now they have the right side tires on. They scamper around on the left side. They will change left side tires. Meanwhile, everyone should be on pit road next lap by. Here's Bill Elliott, our pole sitter. You see him both. 18.8 seconds for Ernie Irvin. Here's Bill Elliott. Right side tires going on. And Elliott apparently has an overheating problem. They are squirting water now, trying to wash off some of the rubber and also trying to get some water to cool the radiator. Left side tires now going on. Mike Beam, Scott Beam, and the Budweiser crew. Elliott is down and away, and they try to run hurriedly and get the tires off the pit road because Dale Earnhardt should be coming down pit road next time by.
Harry Gann is on pit road toward the 4th turn side of pit road.
And Earnhardt is slowing down, ready to come in. As we watch the work on Harry Gant's Stole Bandit, he goes out. Dale Earnhardt will see him come into the picture. There he is right there. And headed down towards Jerry Punch.
And lap 258, there will be 35 laps to go if we stay green. That is about the window for the tires. And here comes the defending and 6-time Winston Cup champion, Dale Earnhardt. Brings the car in, jams on the brakes, and slides at about 3 feet. The crew now cleaning the windshield. No debris in the front of the car. Their primary concern is to get every lug nut in position, get the car full of fuel. Left side tires now going on. Work continue here. Let's check in the Dale Jarrett pit with John Turner. The Jimmy Maycar-led crew working already on the left side. They'll make a chassis adjustment on the left rear. And the Casco tires on. Dale Jarrett is down and away.
Mark Martin will pull out ahead of him, however.
They came in together. Martin had already passed him on the racetrack, so they had similar pit stops about the same time, a little over 19 seconds for both of those drivers.
A little earlier, while all the activity in the pit area was going on, we had a little bit of a skirmish here at the start-finish line. There's Nemechek right up against the wall.
He had just come out of the pits not long ago, passes Jimmy Spencer on the outside, got a little bit of him as he went by. Hutch Strickland really had to take evasive action as the 41 car of Joe Nemechek, the Mannheim, no, that's the Meineke Muffler car, about to spin out. Did a good job of holding on.
Nemechek looked like Steve Kinzer going through that first turn on a dirt track.
As a matter of fact, I thought that's a caution flag that Earnhardt was really needing because he was still on the racetrack. Here comes Kenny Schrader to make his final pit stop.
He had taken over the lead as Earnhardt and the others came in, but now he comes in for his scheduled final pit stop. Ken Schrader.
And Ricky Rudd goes in the back pits with the Tide Ford. There we see, there he comes out.
Michael Waltrip also on pit road in the back stretch. Now the left side tires being replaced on Schrader's car. The fuel is already in. He is back out there. 19.9 second pit stop for Kenny.
Looked like he went out on the speed limit that time. Very careful. Can't afford another one of those penalties.
Oh, I see the 10 car, Ricky Rudd, had been too fast on pit road. That was a stop-and-go penalty. That's why I saw it go in and then come right back out. So NASCAR black flagged in. stop and go.
That completed our pit sequence now, and Dale Earnhardt has really picked up the speed after the tire change, increasing from 148.5 to 155.6.
And there Ken Schrader is once again right in front of Earnhardt, trying to stay in the lead lap.
Schrader is 9th. There are 9 cars on the lead lap.
And Harry again as well. These guys have been racing together for the last 40 or 50 laps.
Yep, they sure have.
So the laps now are down to 31 to go as Earnhardt continues to be the leader here in Darlington, trying for his 9th victory at this racetrack and his 6th in this particular event. Earnhardt leads Elliott, Martin, Jarrett, and Ernie Irvan after 262 laps. ESPN Speed World from Darlington, being brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. Well, coming up next here on ESPN, well, you tell me what's coming up, okay? After our coverage of the race, we'll have some NASCAR features for you, and then at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, Shop Talk, a special 1-hour edition featuring Dale Earnhardt. That's at 5 o'clock Eastern Time after our coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400, and here is the battle for second between Elliott and Martin.
And this is a great battle. They were side by side going to the third corner, and for the first time today, the guy on the outside did not back off. Elliott did not back off, and Mark couldn't get by him.
Mark has come up on it pretty quickly, though. There he goes down on the inside in turns 1 and 2. He might have the advantage this time. Yep. Gets that Valvoline Ford right out in front of the Budweiser Ford and moves on by.
Bill Elliott having a very good run here today, though. He was our pole sitter with a brand new track record and has run up front most of the day in 3rd position at the moment, with Jarrett and Irvan 4th and 5th.
Lake Speed is 6th, right on Ernie Irvan's back bumper. See there where your favorite drivers are.
There's the battle for 5th, and look, Lake Speed is right on the back bumper of Ernie Irvan.
Dale Jarrett is 4th. This is the battle for 5th spot. Lake Speed looking to the inside of Ernie, coming off the 2nd corner.
Ernie goes up. Here comes Lake on the inside.
He got him.
Took that spot away.
Nice move by Lake.
Quality Care. Car number 15. Lake is a former renter here, so is Bud Moore, who owns the Quality Care Ford.
Yeah, Lake won this race, of course, back in 1988 for his first and only so far NASCAR Winston Cup victory. And the serial shows that, or the snapshot rather, shows that he started 35th. That was his lowest position. His highest was 3rd on lap 224. He is currently 5th.
Tell you what, that's a pretty good charge over these spots. Qualifying is so difficult today. Here's a great race car that qualified 35th.
Especially when you're only getting 1 lap. You know, you got to make it count.
There's good race cars that went home, was unable to race, so. This Lake is fortunate he was named in 35th.
Dale Earnhardt, if he continues and wins this race, will of course pick up some points on the leader, the points leader, Ernie Irvan. If points were awarded right now, Earnhardt would move into 2nd position over Mark Martin and be 81 laps, or rather 81 points behind. The interval on the racetrack is 6.2, the difference between Earnhardt and Martin.
Bill Elliott's about a half a second behind Mark Martin.
Derek Cope and Hut Strickland running together. Now Earnhardt comes up on some slower traffic. Now Kyle Petty, of course, in the mellow yellow Pontiac, and the 27 car of Spencer is slow. He will bring it on the pit road on the back stretch.
Jimmy was running in the 10th position, 1 lap down before this pit stop.
They don't appear to be in any hurry to get out there and get that car back in the race. In fact, the hood pins are being loosened and the hood's going up.
Then someone asked me the other day the question, why are so many engines failing today? In Atlanta, I think 9 cars fell in the race with the engine problems, and we see quite a bit of engine problems today. Is it RPMs? Are cars turning too many RPMs?
They're turning them a lot. There's no doubt about it. They're turning upwards of 9,000 RPMs nowadays. That might be borderline.
I mean, 10 years ago, the number was about 7,200, 7,300 that they turned these engines. And today, as Ned said, 9,000 almost RPM. So I guess that's the answer. Just too many RPMs.
Earnhardt having no problems whatsoever, at least at this point, and he has come to within 18 laps of another victory. While we have settled this race down here in the last few laps, we're going to jump inside the Bill Elliott car, who is currently in 3rd position, and take a ride with him.
There he goes.
Heading into turn 3. There's a lot of cars up there in front of him.
Let's see what kind of RPMs he turns. He's going through the corner at 7,000. That's the most we used to turn back in 1981. 7,800. 79, 83, 84, 8,400 I saw.
And that's when he has new tires on that car, he's probably running 8,800, 87 or 8,800.
You see down the back straightaway, that's not quite as fast because you got to go through that small corner. 1 and 2, that turn's a little bit smaller than 3 and 4, so you don't build as much speed up down the back straightaway as you do the front straightaway.
Now let's compare that with Derek Cope.
Right behind Ricky Rudd is the Fingerhut Ford.
He's in 16th position, 3 laps down.
173 miles an hour down the back straightaway.
At about 8,100 RPM.
Probably a little higher gear in it than does Bill Elliott.
Down the front straightaway, we'll see what kind of RPMs he gets.
About 82.
82 I saw.
Yeah.
That could be 2 teams. Not as many RPMs as Bill Elliott. Could be a higher gear, or either not running as fast on the racetrack. And it could be both.
And they're running together.
Yeah, we'll find out how it's running in comparison to Bill Elliott on the racetrack. Elliott is definitely running faster.
Oh, yeah. I want you to close that gap so quickly.
He says, thank you very much, Derek Cope, as he goes by.
Got up to 8,200 that time, but he didn't have the run off of turn 4 as a result of passing Derek Cope that he had when we saw him up to 8,400 RPM.
With about a 7.5-second lead over 2nd place Mark Martin. In 3rd position is Bill Elliott, 9.2 seconds behind. Then comes Dale Jarrett at 11.7, and Lake Speed 19.7 seconds behind. There are 10 laps to go in the NASCAR Winston Cup TranSouth Financial 400 from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. That is being led by Dale Earnhardt. En route to what appears to be his first victory of 1994, just as it was in 1993. Now, stick around. We got a lot to do in the next hour, and then at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, in just about 1 hour from now, Dale Earnhardt will be the featured guest on Shop Talk, 1 hour edition, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, here on ESPN.
Tell you what, Earnhardt, that car has run so well today. Earnhardt has done a great job driving that car today.
Been very smooth with it, kept it out of trouble. Knew he had a good race car. Has driven it well. Rack up that first win of the year.
And his first win in 17 races.
third corner. Ted Musgrave just passed Ricky Run, or Harry Ginn, actually, for the 7th spot.
Now 7 laps to go for Earnhardt on this 1.366-mile racetrack.
Car has not missed a beat. Childers, Andy Petrie, the entire crew has done a great job. And we want to say hello to Will Lynn back in Welcome, North Carolina. You know, used to be the rear tire changer on this 3 car. He's decided this year that he would stay home on some Sundays with his family. And Will, you're missed.
But they still got along okay without him because they made some great pit stops. I mean, not, you know, Will, they trained them well.
That's right. That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah. I miss you. They don't miss you at all.
Earnhardt still turning laps in excess of 148 miles an hour.
Is that Lake Speed's car on the bottom of the racetrack? No,
that's Rich Fickle. Musgrave trying to get a lap back, and doing so.
Wow.
He is now 1 lap down in 10th position.
He had that extra pit stop that we saw there a little earlier.
Well, then that was incorrect when I said he passed Harry Gant for position. That was not for position.
Right. And is 8th, 1 lap down.
Right now we've got a great race going on for 3rd place between, no, I keep getting confused around here. I'm sorry.
Well, it's getting late. Believe me, if there were a race out there someplace, we'd be showing it to you. That's why we're following Earnhardt around in his trek to victory here.
Just got 4 laps to go. We'll be able to talk to Dale Earnhardt until find out how he did it.
This will be his incredible 6th victory in this race. 9th at Darlington. Only 3 laps to go.
I'm sure he's looking at Doyle Ford and said, can't you just eliminate the next tour? Wave the white flag the next time by?
Just throw the flag. Let's get this over with.
Straightaway lead on Mark Martin. Maybe a little bit more than that. 2 laps to go.
We'll show you who's still out there. Petty and Martin. There's Elliott. Michael Waltrip.
Gordon Shepard.
Waltrip, Darrell Waltrip still out there. 27. Cars there.
There's Brad T, Jimmy Hensley, and there goes Ernie Irvin.
Yeah, there's Rusty Wallace with a lot of the sheet metal missing. Schrader.
White flag for Dale Earnhardt.
1 to go. The fans here on the main straightaway at least are on their feet waving their black GM Goodrich hats and saluting the champion of the TranSouth Financial 400 for 1994. His 60th career win in NASCAR Winston Cup competition, still ranked 6th in all-time victories. Here is Dale Earnhardt taking the checkered flag and winning the TranSouth Financial 400. Cecil Gordon and the other members of the Dale Earnhardt crew celebrate, and now will be making their way to victory lane, and Dale Earnhardt salutes the fans as they salute him on the backstretch in front of the Red Tyler Tower. Here's Jerry Punch.
And David Smith and the crew come over and congratulate Andy Petrie. Andy, congratulations. This was a tough one, and the crew chief was real critical today.
Well, I tell you, the whole crew was critical today. You know, we changed a lot of tires today. Tire wear was a problem. You know, this track's getting pretty rough, but, you know, we did a good job. I can't say enough about the job Dale did. You know, very disciplined out there today, and, you know, we were due. We've been in a little bit of a slump. Feels good, I'll tell you this. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you know, our sponsors and all these people, but I want to remember Neil Bonnet. You know, this is the first race we've won since we've lost Neil, and I want to take this time to remember Neil because he was really a true friend of ours, and I just want to dedicate this race to him.
Andy Petrie, the crew chief, and the entire crew echoes that sentiment. I guarantee you it will be a very emotional victory lane. Bob?
You know, Andy said that they've been in a bit of a slump. Yeah, you kind of think that when you think of the season that Dale Earnhardt has had so far, but that's really not true. This is his 4th top 10 finish in the first 5 races of 1994 and his first victory.
Bob, they don't count top 10s.
They count wins, don't
That's
they?
Right.
They have come through today with a victory, and he has also, as we indicated, tightened the points battle.
Earnhardt trying to weed his way through the well-wishers, trying to find victory lane. It's down there someplace, Dale.
Yeah, he knows where it is. He's been there.
Now he's approaching it. Members of the crew are already there, and he pulls in to Victory Circle here at Darlington for the 9th time in his career. He is ready to get out of there.
Man, oh man, he was ready, wasn't he?
He was unbuckled with a helmet off and ready to get out. All right, let's go to victory lane.
And he leaps out of the car almost before he gets stopped. It's been that kind of day. A big smile. Congratulations, Dale.
Well, it was just 400 miles.
Just 400 miles. Hey, this is a sprint race, 400 miles. What an effort, you and the entire crew.
Yeah, I got to hand it to Andy and all the GM crew, for that matter. The engine guys did a great job, but me and Andy was guessing about chassis before the race and made 2 changes, and it worked for us. The car was neutral and loose all day, but it saved him right side tires, and I feel like that was the key to winning. We really ran a good hard pace, or I say hard pace, hard as I wanted to go. Somebody wanted to run harder, I let them run harder. But I got to thank Terry Jones, his mom. She come by today and give me a big old kiss that we'd win the race today, so thanks for that.
Dale, late in the race, it looked like Harry Gant went by you and ran a few laps and then pulled down and let you go back by. He want to run a little harder than what you wanted to run?
Well, he did, and that's one of them deals. I just, you know, I didn't want to let anybody intimidate me into going any harder than I wanted to, and I wanted to run my race.
Big kiss there from Teresa and Taylor as they get in here. Just slide in here beside the winning.
Yeah, deals, if you didn't pace yourself and you didn't run your race that you wanted, you wouldn't be having tires, and you'd use your tires up pretty quick. The road racetrack's still too tough to tame, and she's rough and she's black and she's mean, so we just took it easy and respected her all day, and she's good to us.
Yesterday in the last session, a lot of drivers very concerned about the right front tire. What was the key to making this car work all day with the tires giving up like they were?
I think getting the car neutral to work neutral and go with that, and you know, it's just a good neutral race car. It wasn't pushing, it was a little on the loose side, and I think that was key. I think that's what Rusty's car looked like to me, so it was a good day for us. I'd like to dedicate this old win to my buddy Neil Bonnet and think about Susan and all the family. Really, we miss him tremendously. We miss him more every day.
Indeed they will. Susan, Kristen, and David watching back in Bessemer, Alabama. A dedicated win to Daddy Neil. Another big kiss there from Daddy to Taylor, and let's check in with John Kernan, who's standing by with a very, very tired Mark Martin.
Well, Mark, you know, Dale Earnhardt just told Jerry Punch, hey, it was only 400 miles. He paced himself. What about you?
We didn't. That's all we had from lap 1 to lap 294. I mean, that was our guts hanging out every inch. He just blew us away. But it's a good run for us, you know. There were times when we could catch on him. He probably wasn't running as hard as I was, though. But I guess we had everybody else covered. It was a great effort for the Valvoline team. Great Goodyear tires, and that Ford ran good of ours, but just didn't have enough for Earnhardt. Just we'll get them next week.
It really was a battle in the pits, too, because of all the tires that the teams had to change, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, the philosophy didn't work out for us. Our car went better on long runs. If Earnhardt had chose not to make that last stop, I could have beat him, I believe. We were gaining on him big time. We had less laps on our tires, and we could go all the way on gas. But we really couldn't afford to take a chance on staying out. Although I'd have liked to have seen what would have happened. You know, let them get their tires and us stay out and just ride around slow on wore-out tires. I don't know if they could have made it back or not, but they chose to do that, and it was a good... our chassis setup was conservative today to be easy on the right front tire, and we didn't have any trouble, you know, so we'll race harder next week.
I don't know if this guy could race any harder, or I don't know if he could be any more tired than he is right now. Guys, whenever he got out of the car, he dumped about one of these big old things of ice water all over his head. But Mark looks like he's okay now. Bob?
Second place finisher here this afternoon, Mark Martin. Well, Dale Earnhardt wins the race here this afternoon, and don't forget, at 5 o'clock, in about 48 minutes from right now, you can join him at a tremendous interview and have the opportunity to buy some merchandise from Dale Earnhardt on Shop Talk. That's at 5 o'clock. We've got a lot of time to fill, and we will do it. We'll begin to fill it when we come back at Darlington. Earnhardt wins over Martin and Elliott. We welcome you back to Darlington, where the unofficial results show us that Earnhardt beat Mark Martin, Bill Elliott, Dale Jarrett, and Lake Speed. And Jerry Punch is with our fourth place finisher.
And he's sitting here leaning against these Unical pumps. You think these guys don't give 100% in 400 miles. Dale Jarrett, congratulations. You came early and came hard, but not quite enough.
Yeah, I didn't have quite enough, but the Interstate Battery Chevrolet worked good today, and you know, this is what we need, kind of a shot in the arm to get back running again. We needed a good finish. I thought about the middle of the race, I really had something for them, but we could never get the car adjusted in the middle. We were tight at first, then we got that out of it, but it got loose, and we never did get it tightened back up. And the last set of tires, I thought I could really go, and they were really loose from the start, so I had to just hang on.
You had a near miss early in the race. Now, Rusty says he had absolutely no warning when he slapped the wall, but you got a little bit of a warning when your car had a problem with the tire.
Yeah, the right front went out, and I'd run the car pretty hard on that set. That's when I started off third, and I really went hard, and just before I got to turn one, it vibrated, and I backed off and got on the brake a little bit, thinking I might have a problem, and sure enough, the right front was gone. But Goodyear did a good job. You know, we had a good tire. It could be fast, and it could go as long as we needed it to go there. You know, we didn't need to be running any more than that anyway, and so we had to come in and get tires, so our hats are off to them. And yeah, it was a challenging race from a lot of ways. It's really mentally hard on the driver to think about not going as hard as you can really go. You had to kind of change your line at first, so it was difficult, but a lot of fun.
Now, folks, yesterday, this young man took one whale of a lick into the concrete wall in the International Race of Champions race. Now, his dad, Ned, has been worried all day, although he did his job on the air, didn't say a word. This young man is black and blue and awfully sore. And rather than me asking you how you're feeling, let me let your dad ask you. Put the headset on you here. And we'll let Ned talk to his son. Here, Ned.
Well, Dale, we are happy to see you sitting there smiling, and congratulations on your first top 5 of the year. But how are you feeling? We talked about it this morning. You said you were a little sore. How you doing?
Well, I'm still sore. I'm hurting, but yeah, you just have to put that out of your mind. My neck got sore really about the last 30 laps of the race. You know, it puts a lot of strain on it there. But you just have to forget about that. I tightened my neck strap and said we've only got 30 to go. And the guys had done such a good job in giving me a good car and getting me in and out of the pits. I didn't want to let them down.
Now, Benny Parsons, you play a little golf. Dale went out last week, shot a 39 on the front, 32 on the back. Whoa. How's that going to affect your your golf swing now?
I can tell the guys at Catawba Country Club I probably won't see them for a little while. I'm too sore for that.
32?
I got lucky, yeah, really lucky.
Oh, yeah. I've seen you play the golf.
Well, congratulations. Maybe things have turned around for you now for 1994.
We hope so. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you, Dale. Congratulations on a great 4th place finish, and he picks up 5 positions in points and moves up to 18th. So he is on his way to a better standing in the NASCAR Winston Cup points for 94.
You know, guys, look on pit road. See all those tires stacked on pit road down there? Mm-hmm. Wonder what they're doing there? There's a guy that has a business. He takes care of those tires.
Oh, yeah?
He picks them up. He takes them back home. He dismounts all those tires, gets rid of the tires, brings the wheels back to the next race. I mean, there's Kenny Schrader, Rick Hendrick's teams don't even fool with their tires. Some guy comes along, picks all these tires up, takes them back to Concord, and he'll take the wheels to Bristol and have Goodyear mount the tires.
Okay, thank you. There was a good battle right at the end between Lake Speed and Dale Jarrett as they came down in the battle for 4th position, and Lake was right behind Dale when the checker came out. Lake with a final last-second move wasn't quite enough. John Curtin is with Lake.
Well, Lake, we were just watching, tried the last-second move, not quite enough. What were you trying to do? Did it just not grab for you or what?
well, the tires were pretty worn by then at that time, and we're slipping and sliding. And I'd been riding along there after I got in front of the 28, got a pretty good lead on it. And the guy said, well, just be careful. Bud told me, said, hey, man, you're getting mighty close to that wall coming over there. And why don't you just ease up a little bit? So I did. Then all of a sudden, Donnie came on the radio and he said, that 18 is really backing up fast. I looked up and saw him up there, and, man, I stood in the gas in, and there I started coming. But I was probably overdriving the car and slipping and sliding a little more than I needed to. We were gathering a lot of real estate, but at the same time, I didn't want to lose it all trying to get greedy and get one more, you know. But the Ford Quality Care car was really coming on strong there late in the race, and the guys did a great job for me, and I just thank the good Lord that we stayed out all them wrecks, and I came pretty close. It got me a new Darlington stripe. First time I got one of those in a while down here. But all in all, it was a great race for us.
I would say starting, you said 35th. You finished 5th. That's moving up 30 spots. I mean, all of a sudden, it's like Jimmy Maycar came over and told you after the race was over, he said, here comes the 15 car. Where did he come from?
Well, the back of the field, that's right. We were really working hard on this qualifying effort and seeing if we can't get ourselves up front a little bit better. I think I just got to get used to these sticky tires. I do better. I've been doing better on the slipping and sliding conditions. I need to get where we can really go and then got a lot of grip.
Yeah, because you were on the backstretch over there, we didn't get to see a lot of the backstretch pit work, but you guys must have had some really great pit stops today.
You got to remember who set the world record in that pit crew contest a few years ago. It was my crew. Rusty's crew just beat it last year.
That's exactly right. Lake Speed, a very fine finish on the same track that, about 6 years ago that you won your first Winston Cup race. I know you'd like to have another one.
It was March 27th, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I guess it is 6 years ago. Bob?
All right, and it's his first top 5 finish since 1989 at Sears Point, and he picks up a great number of positions in the points, going from 10th to 6th. We have a lot more for you from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina at the conclusion of the TranSouth Financial 400 won by Dale Earnhardt. Once again, the top 5 finishers here at Darlington: Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Bill Elliott, Dale Jarrett, and Lake Speed. Bill Elliott began this race from the pole position and was the only driver eligible for $76,000 in Unocal bonus money. Came up a couple of positions short. Here's Jerry.
Indeed he did, Bob, but we told you at the beginning of the day that there was a good chance that Awesome Bill would be back, and indeed he is. I mean, what a great run today, Bill. You had to hang on, a pole, got a good top 5 finish, got to feel good about it.
Well, we really do. I think starting up front really helped, and the guys really did a fantastic job getting me in and out of the pits all day long. But I'll tell you what, it was a grueling 400-mile race, and I'll tell you what, I really feel it right now. It was as tough a 400-mile race as I've ever sat in, and you know, regardless of what happened, it seemed like tires were so critical all day long, and you know, we fought it all day long. The car would be one way, then it'd be the other way. But yeah, we did the best we could, and we had a good finish, and I think it gives us some momentum going into Bristol.
What kind of questions go through your head? I know we saw Dale Jarrett exhausted, Mark Martin exhausted up at the fuel pumps. Does it put a lot of mental pressure on you when the crew says, hey, the guys, you got to save those tires?
Well, it does, but you know, you just got to do what you can do and run as hard as you can run, because we knew, you know, we tried to short stop it there at the end, and you know, I felt like Mark probably run just a few laps, and that probably helped him gain second place. But you know, we all run a heck of a race, and it's, you know, the car slipped and slid all day long.
Talk about dodging a bullet. 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, you dodged debris that came through the windshield, and you got to feel that maybe your luck was changing.
Well, I hope so. We ended up falling out of the race, but you know, like I said, we came here and we had a good day, and we can see light at the end of the tunnel.
Bill, good luck to you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Bill Elliott, 8-time most popular driver, and you can tell he's smiling, and so is the entire Budweiser crew. They're all in there.
Well, Jerry, it was the 17th top 5 finish here at Darlington, and the first top 5 of the year, and he goes from 22nd to 15th in the points. We're waiting on Ernie Irvin. He's changing his clothes, so we'll be able to get him in just a few moments. Meanwhile, we will again run down how they finished here this afternoon, showing you 6 through 10. Irvin was 6th, followed by Schrader, Gant, Rudd, and Musgrave.
Kyle Petty, 11th. Chuck Bound, Jimmy Hensley, Steve Grissom. I guess that's the top finishing rookie today. Michael Waltrip is 15th.
16th through 20th, Derek Cope, Hut Strickland, Mike Wallace. In the Junior Donlevy car, Joe Nemechek and Jeff Burton.
Burton, of course, had trouble right at the start of the race, but came back to finish in 20th position. His brother was 21st. Todd Bodine, the provisional starter, 22nd. Then Rich Bickle, Brad Teague, and Bobby Hamilton.
And 26th to 30th, Darrell Waltrip, Jimmy Spencer, Dave Marcus, Dick Trickle, and Greg Sachs.
Now, most of these cars had problems and were either out of the race or had been behind the wall a long time. Jeff Gordon finishing 31st, Morgan Shepherd 32nd, Rusty Wallace managed a 33rd position finish after spending 75 laps in the garage area, and Sterling Marlin 34th, and Terry Labonte 35th.
And completing the rundown, Brett Odine was 36 after losing an engine. Rick Mast 37th. John Andretti also had engine problems. Bobby Labonte, Jeff Bodine 39th and 40th. And finishing in 41st position was Wally Dallenbach. A lot more to go. We'll try to talk to Ernie Irvan and more post-race activity here at Darlington in the TranSouth Financial 400. We'll be right back.